And we're back here once again with another episode of the Cloud9 podcast, season 13, episode 13. And we are at the end of the year, and the very last best of 5 has been played. And T1 are your 2024 League of Legends World Championships. Faker has become the first mid laner to win back-to-back World Championships twice. Actually, he did it in 2015 to 2016, and he has now done it in 2023 to 2024. But before we get into all of that, glazing Faker, getting on our knees for him, we're going to talk about the best of 5 that they played against BLG, but just want to say to everybody, if you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this episode of the Cloud9 podcast if you enjoyed it, and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. And in today's episode of the Cloud9 podcast, we are going to have an absolute banger. So I should probably update the title of this because Faker ended up winning MVP, but I was going to just give it to Gumayusi, in my opinion. I thought he played absolutely just amazing for T1 all throughout the World Championships.
Honestly, any of them could have won it.
I think last year, if you wanted to give it to someone, I think it should have been Owner.
Yeah.
If you're asking me this year, I think Gumayusi from like the start of their Worlds run all the way up to right now, I think he's just their MVP. He's played. I've never seen an ADC play that good for that amount of games. That's every game he's performing. I think the only game he performed exceptionally bad were the Caitlyn Braum games. It's crazy how every Caitlyn Braum game he sucked ass, but all the games outside of that he actually just popped off really hard. But what's going on, man? How are you doing?
Man, I'm good, man. I was watching it and working. I was just happy as hell when they won.
I hate you. Imagine just coming into League like just a few years ago and your team just wins back-to-back World Championships.
And he went to
years
3 straight.
To have a team win World.
And he went to 3 straight finals. That's the crazy part. One,
yeah.
You could say they were one team fight away from being 3-peat. One team fight away.
That's why I hated that DRX won. Like, it's cool from a story, an underdog story point of view, you know what I mean? But, goddamn, if they didn't win that Game 5, which T1 definitely were throwing it hard as fuck, they'd have been the triple fucking world champions. They'd have won every world. Figure legitimately have 6 worlds.
But then again, T1 almost repeated back in 2017 when they just got stomped by Samsung.
Yeah.
Think about it. That's me.
That's crazy at this point. If he didn't lose to Samsung or DRX, they might have 8 world championships. They might have 7 world championships.
Yeah.
That's fucking insane to think about, you know? Well, all roads definitely lead back to Faker, you know? And now that we're at this point in the year, before we go over the finals and some of the offseason news that we didn't get a chance to talk about, obviously, last episode. So, for this year, MSI won by Gen G. Esport World Cup, won by T1. Worlds 2024, won by T1. Guys, the LCKs won everything. Everything. Yeah. They won every single thing this year. An LPL team did make the finals of every single international event, so obviously it's still LPL and LCK versus the world. But if you're talking about who's the actual daddy, no, the LCK is the daddy right now.
Just think about this.
Mm-hmm.
It goes... The last time LPL even won something was MSI 2023.
Yes. Yeah, you're right.
LCK won. Think about it. And the LCK won 3 straight world championships.
Mm-hmm.
4 out of the last 5.
Also, keep in mind, even though I thought MSI last year was great, I think MSI this year was pretty good. Pure Factory. Who did JDG beat in the finals to win their MSI trophy? They faced BLG. Remember, BLG ended up upsetting Genji and T1 with Yagao.
Yeah.
They didn't face a Korean team at the end of the tournament. To be fair, they were the best team going into it. Most people thought they were going to win, so that's not out of the realm possibility that they would not be able to beat a Korean team again. But the best series that year JDG played against was against T1, and we got that rematch at Worlds last year in the semifinals. But who was it that saved that game for T1? Faker on his Azir play. with the wall, saving his team. I think this series, I don't know how people are going to rank this best of 5 series in the grand scheme of things, because there were games in this series where they were just stomping each other.
Oh, the first 2 games of stomps.
Game 1, BLG straight up I was like, damn, that's pretty. And then T1 was like, you can do that. Now we're gonna clap you harder. And then the BLG you're like, you can even clap me harder. I'll clap you harder now. And then
game 4 was a bunch of counter punches. It's like, oh, okay, you want to do this? All right, we're gonna catch you here and think about it. They try to 4v1 Zeus. We seen that shit happen last year. The shit don't end well.
We saw every team try this. Every team's tried in the lane swap to put down Zeus, because James was saying Ben played so bad on Gnar for because they were trying to focus him in the finals. But you gotta factor in BLG's comp. That's game 4 when he played Gnar to Rumble, right? Yeah, that game, BLG's comp is pretty bad outside unless they break the game open to the point where even if they did put him down, remember around the map, this is what T1's very good at. When Zeus is put down, the team around the map is doing super well on their own. So it basically mitigates that. You can put someone down, but if the other 4 lanes are doing just fine, it doesn't really matter, honestly. Because they were putting him down, but they weren't really getting anything out of it anyway. They were just getting some gold, and it mostly went to Gnar, and a lot of it went to Sejuani on their team. Wasn't their comp Gnar, Sejuani, Ziggs, Rel? That was such a bad game. That was such a bad comp. Game 4. Yeah, when
game 4 was Gnar, Sejuani, Smolder.
It's all up here. I know. Yep. The Smolder that got no damage out. Because that wasn't Knight behind Faker the game or whatever.
Yeah.
He wasn't getting that comp has no damage as it moves on.
Smolder, Zig, and Rakan.
Horrible comp. Horrible. You couldn't tell me that's a good draft.
Most James would be like,
but that's a great draft, man. You have all these. He's a shit draft. No damage.
You got a champion that's got to actually scale up to get good. Rakan.
Their comp is all early game focused, but we'll get to it in a little bit. But that comp is the worst one of them all. Game 5 kind of panned out in a way of BLG was kind of winning early, and then T1 just when they got into that Dragon team fight when they were both 3 kills apart, then T1 just won it. Oh my god, the Faker narratives are going to be going insane. Oh my god. Okay, so I'm going to break this down for a lot of people, and obviously Chaz is here to give his opinion on it too. Okay, so most people here are going to be like the League fans on Reddit. They'll say well, regular season doesn't matter. It only matters about Worlds. Yes, to a certain extent, I guess if you're talking about the most fucking basic casual to exist in this game, Worlds is the only thing that matters to them. But if someone came to this event predicting T1 to win, you must have legitimately been a straight up freak fan for them, or you're just a wizard. You might have been a wizard.
Because I was a wizard because I put T1 to win.
I said top 4 because I said by my logic, like I said last year too, Fakers never did bad at Worlds. To be fair, I wasn't really wrong. Like I said for him, I don't expect anything less than top 4. He's never lost the quarterfinals. He's never even been second in a group stage. I'm talking about how we went that group stage format.
Yeah.
We went into this one. He was never second in a group ever. He's actually one of the few mid laners to go perfect in a group. Back when we had the group stage format, he went 6-0 in a group before, back in 2015. So he's always performed very well when it comes to Worlds. But people have factoring outside of the regular season.
Was that when they got TSM in their group?
No, they got which TSM? No, have they ever had TSM in their group? I don't think they.
One of them
for 2015. It was H2K, EDG, Bangkok Titans.
Oh, okay, never mind. Okay. All right.
One of them, they've had Cloud9 in their groups a few times. They had Cloud9. That's crazy. It's kind of them back-to-back years in their groups. That's crazy. 2016 and 2017. Oh, you're the 3rd seed from LCS. You know what? You can get the defending world champions in your group. Oh, that's just fucking booty. Let's imagine that you're a 3rd seed and your first game is against SKT. But I will say this. Yeah, in the regular season, you could see there's signs of them not playing well. But it's not about the regular season. Because after the regular season, they played playoffs, and the only games they won was against KT. Okay? They lost against Homolife insanely convincingly, both first and second time, knocked out of the playoffs, and they had to beat KT in order to get here. So it's not about the regular season, everybody. Listen to what I'm saying. They were losing in playoffs. Playoffs matter, okay? Regular season technically doesn't, using that logic, right? So, and keep in mind, they have the DRX story this year. They were the 4th seed. They barely got here, and they just ran the gauntlet. And they won in Game 5, like DRX did. You can't script this. This game is scripted. I don't know anymore.
They lose a Game 5 in the World Championship. Next year, they come back clean everybody.
Cleaned.
Wait. I'm telling you right now, that Weibo.
They lost to Genji one time, and they were like, you know what? I'm sick of losing these guys. Change our play style right now.
You got Fake out here smashing his head into freaking keyboards.
Yeah. Oh, this man was bashing his head because he couldn't beat Genji 2 in the first Genji.
He out there in the lab cooking, but he ain't cooking well enough. and then one day he gets a gift from America. He gets a gift from Quad in America. And it's like, hey guy, this is how you beat Genji. And then he looks. He's in the lab. He's finally cooking. And then he's running down the hallway. He's speaking in Korean because I can't speak in Korean. I found out how to, yeah, and then he just yelling, this is how we beat Genji, and then everyone's looking around. And of course, Reckless is there too, because he's
Reckless.
Just there, he's just there. And then he found out how to beat him. He's like, hey guy, I know how to beat Genji, and then Reckless calls all the European teams for scrims. And then,
I don't know what got in their heads to beat Genji, because apparently, Nuke Duck, the FlyQuest coach, he said that people told him that Genji were 20-1 against T1 in scrims. That's how it should be, right? Genji the 1st seed, come the 4th seed. They beat them all year up until that very last best of 5 they played. That made perfect sense, right? But who adapted to the tournament better? It's not even really like World itself. World is always kind of based around which team can adapt to the meta and play it to the best of their ability.
Who also have more pressure? That's the same too. Who do you think have more pressure? The defending world
always
champions?
Say Faker. I would always say Faker has more.
Or Genji.
If you're asking me, I would always say Faker because he's the most watched player in the game. There's no way, and I like Chovy, but there's no way he has more pressure than Faker to perform. There's just no way. He's always looked at.
I think from the fan it's Faker, but I think from players, I think it's Chovy.
If looking at expectations as far as like the new guy to like dethrone, it would be like Genji, right? Because people thought about Genji winning everything this year. But we quickly saw after EWC, these guys could run it down in a way that was almost impossible. We're like, okay, these guys are turbo inters at this point. They didn't win EWC. They didn't win Summer. They didn't win Worlds. Come back to Rin. Like, they wanted us. Chovy finally broke his curse to win a national event. He finally broke it. But he just turboed and won nothing. That's just a Chovy thing. Only Chovy can do that. Only Chovy can finally break his own curse and then go back right into the curse.
This is why I said him winning MSI didn't mean shit. It didn't. It meant something to him because he finally won the championship. But it didn't mean shit because instantly right after you go back. You play a few games, you go to World Cup, you get clapped right out of there. Now people's like, oh, is Genji that good? It's like that. I told you, those narratives were going to start coming up about Genji, and people say, oh, it's like, was MSI just a fluke? And I told you, because this shit happened before. It's the same thing that happened with another team you root for, the Eagles. They won 2018, and then didn't look good for like 2 years after that. Remember?
True, yeah.
It's like, trust me, as a Yankees Nets, I've seen that shit. You have one good year, and then you fall off after. Woo.
What's up, WZ? Hello, my whites. Chaz with my daddy. That's gay.
Oh God, WZ.
WZ, why are you gay? Yeah, it's just one of those things where Faker being able to do this consistently, because keep in mind, guys, as I pointed out in the last episode, he's doing this with different teammates every single time. And people say it's Coma. Coma's not been with them. Coma wasn't with them last year.
No, he was.
No, they had that guy Tom last year.
Tom was last year. Yeah.
Was that Tom? Yeah, it was Tom. They have Coma reunited with him this year, and I said him coming back is actually a big buff, and it really didn't pan out until like now, but I guess it came true eventually. Yeah. So Coma and Faker have won 4 world championships together. Holy fucking shit, man. Oh God. But yeah, that's the thing though, is if you predicted for him to win, you must have either not seen the playoffs, where that definitely matters to this point, or you're just a wizard. Because no one went in thinking they were going to win.
I'm a wizard from Waverly Place about that.
You got me there.
And I'm gonna tell you why I said Team One was going to win. I didn't have faith in any other team from the Korea and or China.
Mm-hmm.
Gen G, I felt like once they lost Harlem, like I could not pick them to win.
And we did say they were super volatile too. Like you could tell watching them. Yeah, this team can be very, very dominant, but they're also super volatile too. I even pointed out with Gen G, Keen has this tendency to constantly play over aggressive and give the enemy team a lot of leads. I even said, hey, I still disagree with this decision. I disagree that they should have gotten rid of Delight for the Hens. The only reason why, apparently, the rumor is he has better shot calling, right? The problem with that is you get rid of Delight for the Hens, that inherently handicaps Pays. Pays played very well with Delight. Pays does not. Have you guys noticed that when Pays started playing with the Hens, all these laning problems started coming up?
Yeah.
Probably because they don't complement each other very well. That's why they should have never gotten rid of Delight. It made no sense to get rid of Delight anyway. He's the better player currently. Will he be the better? And he proved that he was a decent player right now currently because he just won the summer split.
He was better with Pays, but not with the team. That's what they're saying. He fit Pays better, but it's one of those things. And that don't mean anything. It was like think about this. Delight and Viper worked because Viper knew what to do. Same thing with Pays. Lahens is definitely part of the problem. I think Lahens is trying to be a little too aggressive. Sometimes he was just getting caught the fuck out. And once we start talking about the game, I got to speak about the BLG.
You got your mans?
Yo, get your ass in here, bitch. Get your ass. Yeah, motherfucking T11, bitch.
Hey, that motherfucker said Weibo is the best coach at World.
Weibo even. How Weibo go even talk about they got the best coach in the world? The motherfuckers didn't even get in. Shit. Where they at? They at home.
God, Tarzan and his choking never cease to amaze me, man. Never change Tarzan. I will always say this about Tarzan. He's in a big situation, I'm out. Regular season, I'm in. He's that player where you're good up until a certain point, and you're like, I'm jumping ship. I am. I told people after I knew Weibo would beat LNG and beat DK, jumping ship. I knew they weren't good enough for the rest of the game. I didn't think they were bad, but people made it sound like they were like pain. No, they weren't like pain gaming level bad. They weren't bad as LN. I could never believe LNG could win because they have fucking Hong. Hong is disgustingly trash.
Oh no, he's bad.
Fuck that guy.
I saw last year I was shitting on the jungler, and who the fuck was I shitting on last year from LNG? It was the jungler.
Hong, Zika's so overrated. I can't. I don't know how this guy gets away with what he does.
What team was missing on last year?
Missing was on JDG.
Oh, okay, no. Oh yeah, no. I was shitting on him.
Was missing this year.
He was missing
last year. This year.
He was missing last year. Shit, where the fuck? He lived up his name.
He's one of those players on how you have like.
Some of these players got names. Some of these players that got names that they live up to. He went missing last year. I'm still looking for him. Where he at?
He's one of those players where he's on a super team, but he's a vessel. He's not the actual captain of the ship. Hello.
Yeah. What's going on?
You keep reacting like that. It's driving me crazy. I dropped him off and he was acting all goofy. He's like,
I can't hear you. You sound like you're in a vacuum cleaner.
You sound like you're in a stupid something else. I don't know. Let me see.
This man said when I got in the truck, I sounded like it sounded like you're.
It sounded like you're in a wind tunnel or something. Like
really?
When you're in
Give me a few seconds. Let me see if I got the wrong mic. No, it's weird.
Okay. Probably just me, but nah. Okay. I'm not gonna lie. There was a meet where there was I was stressed after game 3. I was like, what the fuck? God damn.
I fixed it.
I was stressed because I was going back and forth between watching Pokemon and watching
they had the regionals for Pokemon. Yeah.
I was watching that because that shit was on early because all the European ones start early. Thank goodness. I was watching that, right?
So this is the thing. I know people are gonna praise Faker for the saves he did in games 5, 4, He played decently well in game 2 they won. There was a Silas game he had that looked like he was.
I don't think he had. You were crazy. I don't think he had a single bad game.
The Silas game was bad.
It wasn't.
That Yone game he played was pretty bad too. Those are
the Yone game. I was
the Silas game was bad.
The Silas game was.
I think the Yone game was
constantly overextending and getting killed.
Well, the big thing about SKT, and I do want to point this out, is their entire playstyle revolves around having Faker in a side lane and punishing around the map.
Yeah,
it seemed like there was a miscommunication more than him making a mistake there.
He shorted up in games. He shorted up in game 4.
I don't agree that he played bad. I do.
What
think he played. Yone was
constantly overextended in side lanes.
I just told you why you did it,
but the thing is,
no, that's bad shot calling from the team.
But the thing is also, BLG was always going 3v1 versus them, where where BLG would overextend and try to kill Faker, and then they'll lose like towers in other lanes, or they'll fall behind. Like they will always try to take out Faker, and then they'll get behind. But T1's comp of game 3 was just non-existent.
Game 1 they just ran through. Because I said this before. They play the series. BLG is stylistically a team that they could face pretty evenly. And to be fair, this is the first time T1's ever actually beaten them in a best of 5. T1's only ever beaten them in best of 3s.
Well, I do want to say T1 has looked horrible the entire year, and that's the T1 they were facing all year. Yeah. The moment that T1's shorted up, I did think this was when I saw the Gen G series, I was like, okay, they don't look as dominant as I expected. But then this series came in, and I was like, there's a lot of mistakes that they made around shot calling mostly. And the only reason they ended up winning is because they clutched it up and the other team.
Who do you think's making the shot calling? That's Faker.
Shaker isn't the shot caller.
Shaker? Oh, finally said it. Shaker.
Yeah, Faker isn't a shot caller. He is a person that tells people what they're going to do, what he's going to do.
That's to be fair, kind of a shot caller.
No, shot caller tells other people what they're going to do.
No, a shot caller is pretty much, I'm going to tell you what to do. You need to do this. You need to be here. Like, I
don't know. It surely was
Faker is like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this.
It surely wasn't working in that game 3. He was shot calling his team a deficit.
I think Faker had unarguably his best worlds finals that I've ever seen.
I've not seen him do plays. I mean, people were hyping up the Ari double kill he got against Top Esports. That Rakan thing he did in game 4. I haven't seen him do that in a long time.
But yeah, that play, literally, there's 3 plays. I think his Silas game 4 was probably his best. His best game when he made.
Yeah. I thought game 4 when he was playing Silas was his best game. The Galio one, people have to know this. Faker will see another player do something and think if it's good, he'll do it. Because remember, Knight is the one that pulled out Galio mid against people, and they're like,
Galio mid has been a thing for 4 years, but the big thing that really got Galio back into the meta has been his ability to counter Rumble. So he's been a counter pick. That's the only reason he came back in.
He's counter pick top lane, but mid lane, he's not been as priority.
You grab him because you can flex him. That's the reason. That's the reason Galio's even being played mid. It's because he can flex top against Rumble, which keeps people away from prying him.
Just like Poppy. I told you about Poppy.
Poppy is busted, dude. She needs to be.
I told MSK that needs to be one of your picks. You need to I got points off that.
I do like playing Poppy. I will also say a point to BLG in the series. They had a lot of level 1s where they got 5 first bloods in a row. They knew where T1 was going to be at certain points of the map, and they got first bloods. I will say, hey, I think BLG played pretty well most of the series. I think they started faltering in game. After he did the Rakan ult in game 4, it felt like their spirit just snapped.
That too, plus once they realize how to counter, once they realize just give Ben Jax because he's too comfortable on it. And sometimes that happens too. When you give someone a champion that they're comfortable on, and you finally know how to counter it.
He played very well on Rumble in game 3.
The reason they gave Ben Jax is because he was probably the most gapped person in the series.
Yeah, you think so?
I by far
over Carrier to On. You think so?
That's true. That's true. Okay. Besides that, honestly, On was. The worst player.
On was off. In game 5. On was off.
Yeah,
that was my best. You know how we call Targamas off was.
He was off
in game 5.
I think people think he was playing poorly, but they don't realize he's just that bad. That's not an off day for him. He's just not a good player.
He's just that bad.
People are like, yeah, man, if he just didn't if he didn't start.
No, that game 5, he played like he had AIDS.
He is that bad though. Like he literally did that all year.
You're saying
just
no? I always said it too. Elk mostly covers for a lot of his mistakes.
Yeah, I think if they had I don't like Elk that much. I think Elk is the most overhyped person on the team, but I do think he's good. I'm not trying to say he's bad, but people have made him out. They said he was the
turn your
best.
mic a little bit.
I can turn it up even more. Let's see.
God, it sounds like you're in a frying pan.
I don't know what it sounds like, so I can't say anything.
Okay, you're good now. Yeah, you're good. You're better now.
I mean, I'm just sitting closer to it. That's all I did.
That's probably why. Okay, so game 1, BLG just put their fist in their ass. That's pretty much all that game amounts to.
Oh wait, hold on.
And then game 2, T1 played better around Grubs. Their team fighting on this team is better too. I don't know why more people didn't bring out Orin in Worlds in general. Like, when he picked Orin, I was like, wait, they does play Orin a lot. Huh.
Well, the reason you don't play Orin is because Silas is in the meta. When Silas is in the meta, you don't play Orin because that is one of the best picks into Orin. Actually, the best pick, arguably. So it's hard to do.
That's the easiest pick. Okay, I'm gonna just steal your ult every time.
The only character that's arguably better than him is Yasuo into it because he can just win while going back.
Yeah. And that's why Braum has to be played, because Braum could just stop Orin's ult with his.
It's just I think the reason Orin isn't being played is because there's so many characters in the meta currently that do counter him. He's a very good champion, but when Silas, Braum, all these people can be played, he's not good to play.
In this game, in game 3, and I thought Ben played the lane out pretty well in this game, and they gave Jun Kindred, which you probably really shouldn't do at all. On played, I don't know if he played good in this game because he had Blitzcrank, because he didn't really land that many hooks. Landed a few decent ones here and there.
I mean, he did okay. I think this was his best game. Because even though he didn't land a lot of hooks, he forced out a lot of flashes because of the existence episode.
Yeah.
So I don't think it was that bad. I think one of the biggest problems I had with this series is the fact that I don't think Knight played as well as I expected him to. But that could be attested to Faker just playing better than I expected.
Faker's laning phase has got a little bit better back to where it was.
It's not, I mean, still, honestly, in this series, it was very good. I mean, he was just straight up chasing him out of lane. But,
they were mostly laning even throughout the series, except
I mean, Faker was winning.
Which one?
Winning the lanes. I mean, he won almost every lane.
The Yone one, he was not. He was getting pretty
his Yone's just not. I mean, I'm not trying to hate on Faker, but his Yone's just not that good. I think that's the only game I would say that I wasn't impressed with him in.
Thank God they switched Thank God they switched the patch back, because if this team was playing on AD mids, they're not winning Worlds, I don't think.
The big problem is that since Faker can't play Yone very well, they're pretty much free to pick Smolder. And that's why they had to ban it. The one game they won, where I was like, they're not going to win now because they're slightly behind in a Smolder game where Faker just went absolutely crazy. That was one of the... Like, he straight up, that was one of the best games I've ever seen him play. Not even just recently, they just, of all time. He's just... That was a really good game.
Well, WZ really says James wants to get inside my what? That's gay, WZ. Oh my God.
I don't know about all that. But
okay, so let's go to the games that people are going to be remembering. So, games 1 stomp, 2 stomp, 3 stomp, game 4. Now, this is the one where... Okay, so this is one where I think BLG's brains just start cooking too hard. Because I think they got a little bit too confident. They're like, okay, is this the same T1 we've been facing all year, beating in best of 5s? This draft is terrible.
I don't agree with that, because see, you forced out the Yone. You forced out the Yone, which means that they are forced in a situation where you get to pick Smolder for free because they're not playing it now.
Smolder's not the problem with the comp.
No, it's the whole comp. I disagree. So the big thing, this comp scales really well. They played.
Diggs into all these guys is bad.
I don't know.
Every single one of them.
No, he's not. There's 4 squishy champions. He's very good.
All these guys outrange Ziggs.
No, first of all, Ziggs has the 3rd longest range in the game. No one outranges him. But
actually, Faker challenged him 1v1 and just straight up.
Faker got onto him. I want to point out, Faker didn't outrange him. He jumped in.
Yeah, I'm saying the more the game goes on, Ziggs becomes less useful because all these guys can just easily destroy him.
None of them, they have to get to him.
They could just put on his equalizer and just scare him away. He's not going to challenge after that.
If he solo ults to scare away Ziggs, they're going to lose the fight.
But he can't challenge after that, though. That's the problem.
You're not challenging a 1v1. The big thing is Ziggs is ranged enough where none of them should be able to technically be able to deal with him. He scales damage-wise higher than the rest of T1.
They have no damage on this team outside of Smolder. I forgot the stats he had in this
Ziggs
game.
is so much damage. Ziggs is...
It sure didn't look in this game.
Well, that's because he got demolished. I mean, I don't think Elk looks very good on Ziggs.
How about the comp's good? They have no constant damage here. Where's their damage coming from?
So
Smolder with 200 stacks?
Ziggs and Smolder, and they have a bruiser top. They have a lot of damage. The actual problem is
Ash Arrow just Ash outranges him.
Ash does not outrange him. You have to ult him. How did that? Ash's range is
Her
650.
W could constantly scare him off from actually even challenging. So he's never going to get close to
I
throw
just want you to know, his Q outranges Ash's W.
Yeah, but the thing here is she has a constant slow in her kick.
650 attack range, which is like
maybe... if you're playing Ziggs into this comp, what constant damage is he throwing at any of these guys that they can't avoid?
So you don't need consistent damage unless they have...
You don't need consistent damage.
No, unless they have
can take them down.
2 to 3 tanks. If they have that many tanks, you need more consistent damage, which means you have to switch off of having burst like Ziggs. When they don't have tanks, you can have Smolder because, first of all, Smolder does enough.
You can have Smolder. Smolder's not the problem with the comp.
Ziggs
offers nothing in this comp at all.
Ziggs
he did nothing in the entire game.
If they get to late game team fight, Ziggs can literally...
The reason why he couldn't later on in this game, because all of them just not because they outrange him, they just maneuvered around his ability.
Well, it's because he got behind. I mean, he was ahead at one point, and then he literally got caught out.
He was kind of ahead.
He wasn't
really doing that much damage. They were mostly ahead because they were putting down
the reason he doesn't do much damage is because Ziggs is a scaling champion, not a early.
For me, I think the comp's trash. I think later on as the game goes, the comp is horrible off scaling.
Ziggs' big thing is scaling. I don't know why you're hating on it.
Ziggs himself, later on as the game goes, is worthless against all these champions. Poppy just flash ult kill him.
If you can't flash ult as Poppy. That doesn't work. You have to flash.
I wish you could.
If you flash ult as Poppy, you have done the character wrong. The big thing that Ziggs brings to this is he has burst. I really think T1, honestly, there was no good. I think that's the big problem. There's no good drafting in this entire series. I think drafting was one of the weakest parts of this entire series.
This game, BLG's draft is terrible. There's no way you're going to convince me that that's good.
I don't think that's... Well, no, they got into a good draft, actually, because of you.
T1 has a good draft, not BLG.
T1 does not have... You are looking at...
They have range.
Characters.
They have all-in. They have backline access.
They have all of those things on T1.
Yeah.
I mean, on BLG.
They actually don't. They have more front-to-back team fighting comp than anything. They have nothing that
you think that Gnar doesn't have an all-in in the backline?
Sejuani has no backline peel. That's not as good as Poppy.
She's a straight-up peeler. She doesn't have good... Beyond her ult, she doesn't have good engage, but she can dive them.
Like, Rakan is pure engage, right? Ash could just stop him right there and kill him. Rumble could just easily burst him down, right?
What?
You're
misunderstanding. So what you're misunderstanding is a situation where they're allowed to freely use their ults on Rakan. First of all, where they're reacting to it, because if you're getting ulted by Rakan, you're probably not going to be able to react to it. When he ults and jumps in on you, even if Ash ults, you can't stop that because it's unstoppable at that point.
Mm-hmm.
He will.
I'm just saying, in this comp, they have a complete range discrepancy. There's no constant damage.
They don't have less range. Again,
the comp actually falls straight off after 25 minutes. Unless they're straight up ahead. That's why
I think you need to rewatch
you're talking. That's why the bin lead you're talking about when we talked about it yesterday. The reason why it doesn't matter is because they never blew open the game the way they wanted to.
This wasn't the game I was talking about. First of all, he sucked in this game too. But
no, it was you said this one he got constantly dope. He got constantly dope in this game.
Yeah, I'm just talking about he did this 2 games.
Oh, you said there was one game where he played where he got
dope. Well, I do. Yeah. Again, what you're misunderstanding is BLG's comp. Very much upscales. I don't know why you keep thinking that.
I don't think their comp is good. I think their comp only works in an isolation where they blow open the game with the guys you're talking
isolation you're talking about is when everything that happened with SKT, because SKT falling apart should have meant they lost the game because a scaling team comp winning early. So like a scaling team comp like BLG's winning early means you lose. That's why
then if you think their comp's good, what is their option as an answer to Ash or Rumble if Ziggs can't poke them out? Because that's not what happened later in the game.
If Ziggs can't poke him out, he's not playing the champion, right? That's just on him.
Yeah. But he can't effectively poke them out if he's threatened by all of this engaged.
So the Q outranges pretty much everything. Even the equalizer, you're more than halfway away from the equalizer.
Yeah.
Even if he hits you with it. You almost have enough range to get away from the equalizer and still be able to poke. That's the big thing with Ziggs. Ziggs has a lot of sustained damage. They don't have ways to deal with him late game because of the fact their engage is not as consistent as BLG's. BLG's engage is way better. And that was the big problem. The biggest thing that I think, again, we look at game one. Game one with BLG, I don't think they played very well, but they had an Ashe. They had an Ashe ult that really carried them that game. But we can look at this game, and we looked at Gumayusi, which would be the indicator of the way that they actually get onto Elk. Didn't need to do that because SKT,
Faker said, "I'm gonna do it. I'll just do it myself."
Literally did it himself. I don't know what to say, but this is
that's the thing I was trying to say also as well. Is if he's gonna challenge your Ziggs like that,
yeah,
I'm just saying I don't know why Ziggs is there when this. First of all, there's way better ADCs to play in this tournament.
Ziggs works well.
Are you telling me they could not pick Kai'Sa there and have a
Kai'Sa
way
would
better
have to
scale
dive
than ADC?
into them. So the big problem with Kai'Sa is that she doesn't actually do that well into Ashe in the late game, so you can't dive into them. So you can't dive into.
Who are the options? Well, let me see.
So the options are Kai'Sa. Right? I think that you could technically. I mean, let's go with just the meta. You can go Xayah. Yeah. Xayah's not horrible there, but at the same time,
I think they banned it out. I think.
Well, it's not just that. You don't have any AP damage, so that means that the
Xayah works here better. Jinx, Aphelios,
the only problem,
Jhin.
I don't think Aphelios is very good. That's the problem with Aphelios.
Did I say Aphelios? Oh my god.
You did. But Caitlyn I think the problem
works better here. Caitlyn, with their comp, this ahead wins you the game.
No, he doesn't. So what you're misunderstanding is the lack of AP damage that BLG would have if they got rid of Ziggs. Is this man in crack? I don't know what in crack means, but yes.
Oh my god. Are you in Chaz's butt crack? Is that what he meant?
I wish.
What's wrong with you, James?
I didn't say he offered. I'm just saying. But
you answered.
Hey man, if someone's gonna call me on the phone, I gotta let them know.
I'm just saying there were better options than Ziggs this game. I don't know what Ziggs offered in this game.
Their magic damage. Their magic damage is almost non-existent if they don't pick Ziggs. They have.
Isn't Silas just gonna steal his ult anyway?
You're gonna steal any ult that comes though. I mean, all of the ults you're gonna steal are probably.
He was not happy about that one. Oh, good lord.
I think
BLG were winning this game. I think if they have a Caitlyn or a more stronger early game ADC to push their lead, they could win this game.
You are under the impression that BLG's comp is not good late game, and that's
it's not good.
It is good.
It's not good unless you blow up in the game and win it in this position they're in.
If they had full items, I don't think SKT could win this game.
If T1's comp is just better as the game goes along. There's more options to do better. Even in Fog of War, it's better to do. You can shoot your Ashe in Fog of War, hit them. You could also pick them off. Your Silas is way better at picking them off.
You're thinking so a pick off. Just so you know, if you get a pick comp scales better than any comp in the game because of the fact that you can get picked. But your misunderstanding, you have to get picked for that to work.
Yes,
the only way. Well, that's because they played poorly. You're thinking that it's the comp. I'm telling you, it's not because they had a way better scaling comp than SKT. Rumble actually doesn't scale that well. Ashe does scale
against Gnar.
You're just comparing.
Gnar is just better in a silent because he can split with push.
You're comparing them, and I think that what I'm telling you is Gnar has way better team fighting. The equalizer is the only thing that Rumble brings to the table. He can't really get onto that.
But the thing is, Gnar has the on-demand TP. I have to be a Mega Gnar. Zeus is a lot more. His can be a lot more effective early on.
We're talking about a perfect world because that's all we can really look at. If we
can't do that. We have to look at this game. Damn it.
Well, if we look at this game, then I think Elk should never be allowed to play Ziggs again. I think he was bad on Ziggs.
He's not a good Ziggs. He's not a good Ziggs anyway.
If he had been a good Ziggs, I would have been like, this is a good team comp. But looking at his Ziggs, which really comes down to positioning, I think he was bad. I think he got caught out too much. I think that his output wasn't as good as that. First, I love this move. This is
another reason why Ziggs is not good for their comp. Especially when he was playing it. Not was playing too far forward. He was getting himself into positions where he could legit get recon ulted. If you have an ADC with a little bit more easier of an escape,
I do want to say that specific beyond that engage, because I think that one's not really his fault. That was just Faker going crazy.
It was Blake forehead right there.
He was in the mid lane. He was the farthest behind.
He did bait up the Ashe arrow, which was good.
He baited out the Ashe arrow, and then he was behind his entire team. The only problem is Faker straight up just demolished that team right there. That was incredible.
Because Gumayusi, he has Phantom Dancer and Kraken Slayer. Elk has Morellonomicon and that amplifying tone shit.
So the way it works is ADC scale the best.
He dodged that pretty well. I'll give him that. Faker just walked up. They see him. He's on a ward right there.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how they didn't time this TP flank on him. He's right there on that ward. I know they can see him.
By this time this happens, you can't win the fight anymore. It's already lost.
That was just Jun just threw his Sejuani all in Narnia.
Yeah, he tried to stop him midway
Jun.
through. Faker solo carried this game. That's just all it was to it.
Yeah,
I
and
really
I'll
think
point out the Renata Glass more useful than Rakan as the game goes on. She just does her. I forgot I forgot what it's called.
her
She does
ult
that.
is good, but
Stop.
again, Rakan has way better consistent engage.
You said On was off. He started
On is just bad. I mean, what it comes down to is the bot lane was gapped in this series. Not this game. In this game specifically, the bot lane bathing in crack.
All up in Chaz's thing.
No.
If On was better, there was a high chance that they won this series. If On
I'm just saying, this game is a lot more closer if they don't have Ziggs and if they actually win the early game harder. Because they were winning the early game. I'm not.
So
their
problem
is good at just a certain moment in time. That's what I'm saying.
I full on disagree with that, but I see the problem. And the reason that we kind of had the same thing as I think Ziggs might have been a bad pick is because I don't think they knew Elk was Baptist.
I've never really seen an ADC, Eastern or Western, pilot Ziggs ADC well.
First of all, Michael, I had everybody post their channels in the Cloud Chaser corner. Don't blame me for that.
Oh my God, Jesus
Even
Christ.
Chaz has his posted in there.
Like, see, right here, what T1s always did very well with this iteration, picks and skirmishes have been their thing. Gumayusi's always played Ashe, gives them an easy point of entry to start a team fight. Right there with that Ashe arrow, reason why she's more useful than Ziggs. He hit him, he had to immediately flash. He can't do anything in team fight. He's completely zoned out.
If you can hit an Ashe arrow on a carry at any point, she's the best character in the game. You're asking for inconsistent engage to be the reason that they're better. I'm telling you.
No, it's just a more simpler way of engaging.
It's
BLGs is a lot more complicated and a lot more harder to get what they want out of a team fight.
He has Rakan and Sejuani, the most straightforward, and even
what's Rakan going to do if Renata Glass just handshakes him?
If she handshakes him, when he does that, he's the greatest player on the planet.
Why are you yelling at me?
I'm just telling you how fast you have to react to that. You literally if you could react to a speeding bullet, worthless.
What do you think's easier to execute? Renata Ashe or Ziggs and Rakan? Easier in a team fight.
You're complaining. You're comparing Ziggs to Ashe when they have two different.
No, I'm just saying. The comps are the T1 has the easier comp to pick off who they need. Easier.
So the easier comp, Rakan is one of the easiest engages in the game, and so does Gnar. You're blaming the comp when it's just the players playing the characters. I think the comp was good. I think James has truly hit rock bottom. I've never felt as hurt as the way you guys came in here to roast me. I'm hurt.
Okay, Chaz, what did you think about this game?
Okay, game 4. Okay. I don't think Ziggs was a bad pick. I think Ziggs actually made the game slightly closer. Honestly, it was Rakan. It was Rakan just getting picked off too easily. Mm-hmm. And I'm not gonna lie, Ben looked like absolute dog water on Gnar. I'm sorry. Like,
it's crazy, right?
Once I saw him pick up Gnar, I was like, okay, this will be a game 5.
The other really reason to bring up why T1's comp was a little bit more easier to execute than BLG's. So they're a lot more ahead after the Faker steals the Rakan ult with Silas's ult himself. Faker knows they're right there. You could tell he knew. He easily sidestepped that. Or he just sidestepped that and he baited out Jun's ult. Jun, because he used his ult to try to get Faker out of Fog of War, doesn't have his ult in this team fight. And Elk, why? Constantly in this game playing too far forward, getting picked off, getting chunked out. Now Owner's just on top of Ziggs, can't do nothing. And they just constantly lose this team fight. I don't know what they were cooking in this team fight. I think this draft sucks. I think they have no damage as the game goes on. I think T1's comp is way better and easier to execute as the game goes on. You saw it in this game. Ashe, one arrow, hits one of those squishy targets. They're completely just immobilized, useless, can't do anything else. Gnar can't challenge in there. He'll get cooked. And then we're going to move on to game 5. Let's go to game 5. So T1 managed to bring it. It's the Silver Scrapes. I did predict 3-2. I said it's going to be a 3-2 series, actually.
Yeah, I said 3-2 as well.
Every time these guys have faced, outside of MSI 2023, it's been a 3-2. Their series are always really close, too. So it's always nice to see that. T1's not beat them in the best of 5 yet. So like, oh, I got to beat these Wang Chong, Ching Chong fucks. God. Game 5. You know what's crazy? Faker, the best player in League of Legends history, is coming to save his team with the hero's entrance. That's Galio's. Oh, the narratives. Oh, James DC, because his internet is actual trash.
Oh shit.
Oh, wait, he's back.
Apparently, I muted and something, and it just kicked me out. That was weird. I didn't know I was gone.
So okay, so I wouldn't say this comp is bad from the only comp I thought was objectively bad from BLG's game 4. I don't think this one was very bad. I think this comp is fine overall. Knight just never got ahead on Ari in the way to effectively break with the. I know he got 3 kills, but he never did anything more than that outside of just getting kills. Because I don't think Ben played very well this game either. I don't know. Jun's best champion is Jarvan.
They let him have Jax because Ben was so much worse than Zeus. They didn't care.
And then, you know what? Zeus was, he had his Orin this game. Sorry, his series. He pulled out Gragas. He's the one that's been pulling out Gragas top. Still a
Gragas counters Jax, that's why.
And this is where the game just break opens and it's just over. Well, no, you do this one or that or the other one because I think On engaged in this. So they're challenging for Grubs.
Yeah.
And well, after that, On doesn't even have his. I thought he had his flash. I think he used his flash, but he didn't. So they're coming up to fight for Grubs. They're positioning for it. On missed just everything. So and to be fair, if you're Rel, if you use everything, you're kind of useless. He got chunked out with Xayah, more longer range. He's dead. Yeah, it's not looking good. Your Jax, which is supposed to scale, is behind. The Rel player you have is getting ingested with the C19 virus currently on stage. And people just falling apart. I think this game doesn't really just immediately blow up into people's minds until it's the Galio entrance that he does, which is later on. The game's mostly pretty even up to that point. But they started winning more of the team fights later on anyway.
So I do it right here
starts it.
No, it's the fight before this. Go back. This is
Dragon
a
fight?
This fight at the beginning. You missed it. This is the same fight. So look at this.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this. BLG wins this fight. Watch what Ben does. If BLG wins this
fight. You're talking about when he flanks, right? Yeah, he goes in, he kills Gumayusi, he baited out his Yeah.
Now watch Ben. Ben right here. Ben TPs. Which means they can immediately turn back on to them. By the time Ben gets back, the team's dead. He lost in this game.
I saw that. That's just bad.
Another thing is, and what people didn't understand, watch that last team fight. Watch what happens with Ari's TP.
Oof. Okay. So this is I was watching because I know you said he made an egregious mistake. I was like, no way that man just went and tried to TP flank.
When he TP'd, it was over. They lost the game. That pretty much solidified. Because look at it.
I don't get why he TPs. He just could walk.
I mean,
if they're gonna fight.
If they might not fight. And they might get away.
This thing. There was no reason for BLG to chase for more though. There wasn't. Yeah. They had lost all their ults. They blew all their summoner spells. But they still have summoner spells on. The only reason why I think they do it is because you still have summoner spells on Kai'Sa. So they're probably thinking, hey, my Jarvan and my Jax can still peel from my Kai'Sa, right? That's the only reason why you do it. Because if that's not the reason, then they're just crackheads. There's no reason to fight for this. This is just pure greed. Just go reset.
They don't even need to reset. Push mid. They can't stop you.
Well, they can't really push mid because there's them there.
They would have
unless you can't win the fight.
They can't defend a tier 1 this late in the game. It's just too late in the game.
I just don't get why they fought here after they won everything.
I don't either.
I don't get why Zone fights this. Why did he do it? The only reason why they did it is because they probably thought, hey, maybe Kai'Sa still have summoner spells. We can just peel for him.
They could have technically won if they were if they had not ran away and T1 straight up fought them. They would have won.
Faker didn't even use his ult in the last fight. Yeah, so they know it has to still be up.
If Ben had not TP'd and they caught them, let's just imagine they caught them, they would have won.
Yeah,
they would have won the fight.
But Faker still has his ult too, and that's what saved the fight.
What saved the fight was Ben not being there for the first 5 seconds.
Of it. When they jumped him,
I'm just saying, what made this fight not winnable was the fact that when he TP'd, Ben is not there for the first 5 seconds of the fight.
Oh my god, I forgot how well Owner was playing that. Owner doesn't even have his ult. Owner still has his ult in this fight. Owner he played that fight so well. I forgot when I remember. Owner and Faker still had their ult. Owner's still full health. That means your Xin Zhao can just easily challenge all of them.
I'm just saying, if Ben was there at the beginning of the fight, they would have won.
I don't know, man.
No, they would have won.
Xin Zhao's still full health. and so was Galio with his ult still.
It's a 4v3.
Yeah, but
it's a 4v3.
How behind is Bin right now? Like you said, Bin has Thunder Sky, Triforce, Thunder Sky, Black.
Bin is not going to lose lane. So the problem with Jax versus Gragas is even though Gragas counters him, it's only into his engage.
Yeah, but when he went in, Faker just immediately just taunted him, so Xin Zhao could just run him down.
The reason that it mattered is because the fight was already over by the time.
I don't think he played bad in this part of the game. This was completely fine what he did. This is fine.
Right here. I don't think it's
killing Gumayusi is fine. That's what you're supposed to do.
Right
After this, yeah.
If they had caught them, just ran at them, it would have been fine. But the fact is, CTP. So look how far away he is. By the time he gets look at this. He still hasn't made it, and one of them is already CC to that. He's not.
But the problem is, even if he doesn't TP, Faker and Owner still have their ult, and he's still full health on.
It's not about that. They would see the reason. You can see why SKT was running away. SKT was going to lose that fight.
Or were they baiting them in? That's crazy.
Why would they need to? If you're already fighting somebody who's fighting,
because your jungler still has everything attached to him.
Well, I'm just telling you, you don't need to bait somebody when they're already fighting you.
Jun's just a free kill at this point. He went down in like less than 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And after this fight, Owner's still full health. He played that fight. I've never seen a jungler play a fight that good. That was just went to the back line, killed the support, then saved his ult.
I don't think Owner played amazingly. He just got an option to get into somebody. So the fight was pretty much defined by.
I know you're blaming Ben, but to be fair, if they just straight up just not fight them.
No, they could have pushed mid. I'll agree with that. The TP.
No, that push mid. Why are they fighting them? If they have an idea that Galio and Jun and Xin Zhao's ult are still up,
Galio.
Could, at any point, even if you're ahead in a person, that could still turn a team fight.
No, they couldn't. If Ben was there the whole time, they would have lost. It's just the reality. The reason they flashed in immediately was because they knew we have a small amount of time before Ben gets back. Right here,
but Galio just stuns them. That's the not stuns, taunts him. If Ben jumps in, Faker taunts him, he does nothing.
He doesn't. He still auto attacks. On top of the fact, he has his counter strike up, so he's not taking a lot of damage, and he'll do an AOE stun at the beginning of it. Watch the TP.
This was the so this is the final part of the game.
Go back.
Just a little
farther. Look mid. I just want you to watch mid first. Make it bigger. No. You're too far back. It was that fight. It's just the beginning of it.
Oh, you're right. Okay. Yeah.
No. You're back. You're fine. Go back to that fight.
Go black. Like you want to go back
forward.
And Chaz's ass?
Go towards the last fight of the game. But you went too far into the fight because you didn't notice what happened.
Okay.
So I was talking about making it full screen.
Is this full screen?
Oh, it looks so.
It
just doesn't look full screen on my side.
That's fine. Okay, so we're going to go to the last fight of the game where Faker.
I want you to watch mid. Don't look at the fight. Watch mid lane. I want you to see what's happening.
With what Elk is doing?
No, this not this. You misunderstand. The fight I was talking about was the correct fight. You were on it. But you missed the beginning of the fight. So not this fight. The next fight that happens, we can just wait.
Oh, the second one. Okay.
So yeah, the fight that one BLG lost, the game ended.
Yeah, this is when Owner got into the backline and killed him. Yeah, this one.
No.
And actually, they don't even really have the lane priority here. I mean, the wave's pushing more in T1's favor.
It doesn't matter. At 28 minutes, you can't defend it here, Walden.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right here, right after this fight. I want you to see. No, you haven't seen it yet. Just wait for it.
Okay.
I'll tell you when.
Okay.
When this fight happens, just keep going.
Yeah. So that's what I was trying to bring up. Even with the extra man advantage, it just doesn't really matter.
I think it fully mattered. I think it fully mattered with them up because they would have won that fight. Because they
primary carries still have their ult, and he has taunt on him.
When he TP'd,
he's not gonna be able to do anything.
When he TP'd, I was like, "Oh my god, they have a chance to go in, but I'm not sure if they're gonna be able to." And then he immediately flashed.
I straight up. I mean, if you're BLG, that's so risky too. You already blew all of your ult. There's nothing on your team that can really.
Well, in a straight up fight, T1 was not gonna win. But when he TP'd away, they got away into the fight, and that was the big thing. I really did like that. But watch this fight.
The very last one. Okay, so Zeus was getting 1v4'd like last year's World.
Look mid. Look at Ari.
Okay. Oh no! Nice.
That's how they lost the fight.
He TP'd to the.
He TP'd in front of Poppy, and Poppy.
No. Knight TP back into his base.
No. Go back.
No, he was TPing to a fight from mid, and Poppy altered him back into the base.
Watch it. Watch Poppy walk.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. Okay. So watching the mini map.
Boom.
Watch it.
Oh, I'll be honest. I didn't see that.
Yeah, that won the fight. They would have lost this fight if that went through. Carius saved the game there. Because just imagine if Ari was here the whole time. Ari's still not here.
Still maybe goes their way. I don't know. Keep in mind, they just lost a team fight before this.
If Ari gets there, it's more even. And
I wouldn't say they win the game. I still wouldn't say they win the game because they just lost.
It would have prevented. Okay, no. If Ari got there, it would have prevented T1 from
winning the game.
Because keep in mind, BLG's comp has, I would say, better scaling than T1's, but they were pretty decently far behind in the game, though. When T1 started winning the fights, they had more better map pressure as the game went on, too.
Once Kira stopped Ari's
I thought he straight up TP back to his... I was like, okay, that is just probably one of the biggest misplays ever.
Nope.
I didn't see that he ulted in there. No, I was just looking at the fight.
He ulted. He ulted.
I didn't see that. Yeah, no, that definitely changed. I mean, I will say this. That does change maybe how the fight would go. I don't think they win it with him there because they did lose the fight before this with a man advantage.
Ari makes it more even that it could go BLG's way.
It could have won BLG. I'm not saying they would have won the fight. I'm just saying
it would have been more even.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Think about it. We seen Daniels get 4v1 last year. It didn't end well. And then
because that's the thing. Keep in mind, BLG are engaging on them as if like they have Knight there. Once they notice that he's not there, this is why this team can't. I'm not saying they can't win at the highest level because these players are good. Well, except maybe on. He's trash some days. My problem with them is constantly you can be over aggressive and get kills, but even just in this last game, right there when they notice he's not there, I don't know why they fully commit onto them more. Keep in mind, they just lost a team fight when it was a man advantage in their favor, and Jax is pretty far behind of Gragas. Owner was just putting his fist all in Jun's ass the entire game. He outpathed him constantly. It was their team fights more consistently faster. Backline access was more consistent out of Owner. Yeah, I just think as the series went on, T1 just played better.
They did. I think that's what it came down to.
It snowballed because
I think BLG's greatest strength ended up being their greatest weakness. Their over aggression just constantly just screwed them.
Like I said, it's the mirror force effect. They went in, they thought they had it, and
because that was their big advantage over T1 in their best of fights. If it was one, well, we're just faster than you, and we could just outpace you on the map. That was their plan.
And T1 did all. See if you want to correlate this to compare to this is like a trap deck going against an aggro deck. Trap decks are always going to have more things. T1 always had little tricks up to play. Why you giving Carrier Poppy? I was like, wait a second, because Poppy would have usually gone to either Zeus or Owner, but you give Carrier Poppy now he's more likely going to want to use the ult more defensively. The other two use it more offensively. He used it. Oh, I can stop the TP. Oh, I'm not going to be able to get up mid in time. Let me stop this TP. And then boom.
Also, I want to point out, this is how you could tell they were still losing the game. Even in this fight, they struggled to. This is why BLG's comp just has no damage. Look how much they struggled killing that guy. And Zays did ult him in there, and he forces Zonya's away.
And then Faker came in like Superman.
Look, they can't kill him. Look at that.
Well, you can't kill Faker ever.
They just have no damage.
Galio is hard to kill.
Maybe if they have Ari, maybe they have Ari there, but like they have no damage. Where is their damage?
Faker's almost dead without the Ari there.
Yeah. I'm just saying, for their past comp, I would have taken, if you told me this was going to be their comp in this game, I would have swap that comp for this game.
What I want to ask you
nothing there.
They have no tanks. Jax
supposed to be your tank.
Jax is a damage dealer. All they have is
Jax a tank.
They have no front line is the problem.
Jax and Jarvan are supposed to be your front line. With
Jax and Jarvan both build.
Jarvan's not a front. Jarvan's a squishy front line.
Yeah. Well, Jarvan's an engaged champion.
If not built correctly.
Yeah.
I'm just saying
Jax both are.
And Jax is countered.
Neither one of them.
Jax. They knew Ben was gonna get Jack. He felt comfortable, and they just let him have it. And
it's just, I think the biggest problem is they let Poppy go through when Poppy countered everybody on their
The thing
team.
is, Carrier doesn't really play Poppy support that much.
It doesn't. I wouldn't care if it was a bronze 1 support. If you have that many people that can jump in with Poppy, they push W and you can't do your job anymore.
Not even that. Poppy's flex 3 ways.
Yeah.
That's me. You see Poppy get picked, you don't know where it's going. You gotta see for the matter of fact, let me go back to that draft.
Oh, you want to go into the draft? Okay, give me 1 second.
Yeah, let me go to
because I'm not even saying because Faker, in my opinion, played those games well. Those were just like
I think he only had 1 bad game. That
Silas game was bad.
I don't think it was. You're making it sound like he played horrible. He didn't. He was still one of the better players on this team, but when you're behind, it looks a lot worse when you engage into them.
You said
beyond the side lane.
This one.
Game 5. I got.
This is a draft. Oh, my bad.
I gotta see the draft. I'm getting the game right now. Let me.
No, you're right there.
There we go. Okay.
So for me, 3rd or 4th.
Like the thing is, if BLG are going to take that comp, them having Ash would be BLG banning out Ash makes no sense if you're going to take this comp. This comp you definitely take Ash in.
I mean,
you can't really give Varus to Gumayusi. That's just an auto L.
Varus is a good champion. I think the reason you play Varus is because I honestly think he's better than Ash.
I think they just ban him out because Gumayusi. He's just really good on Varus.
Him and Elk, but neither have Varus. That's just an auto.
You don't want to give, and you just saw Gumayusi play that well on Ash in game 4, so you can't give him that. So there's 2 bans already wasted on him. You can't give up Skarner. I understand why you guys ban Skarner. Yeah. I don't know why they. I mean, is Carrier the priority player you ban away 2 supports from right now in the series? He's playing good. I'm not saying he's not playing bad, but like
Carrier is the best player in this team.
You ban Rakan because you don't want On to pick it. Because we seen On Rakan. Yeah, we seen On and Rakan.
That's a travesty.
You sometimes got to ban champions from your own people. Like,
I'm just saying, like, what they end up with is a early game pick comp where if they don't actually blow up in the game, maybe around 20 minutes, they just fall off. Like, yeah, they have some scaling in Kaisa, and there's some scaling in Jax. The problem here is if Jax is behind, it takes a while for that guy to get going. If Kaisa's behind, I mean, just we saw what happened.
I think what's happening here is we're devolving to. I never think any of the comps, none of the comps in this series defined a game. None of the games were lost by a pick, whatever the picks were. I think all of them were winnable by both teams because both of them had an equal way like they could win. Game 4, game 3.
None of the drafts in any.
I don't think any of them lost in the games. No, I don't think a single one. Besides maybe Game 5. This is the one comp I would say.
Besides maybe Game 5, there's nothing here for them.
Well, Game 4. What
is your option as BLG for this game?
They have a lot of damage. They just don't have a front
line. Where?
Every single one of them do damage. That's crazy to say. Kaisa does a billion damage.
Kaisa was doing tickle damage to him.
You're saying was doing instead of their champions. Because if you get to late game, everyone in these characters are damaged. There's no front line. Jarvan is a bruiser. Jax is a bruiser. Kais is an assassin. And Ari's an assassin.
Who else was banned? Banned. Oh, that's it. Yeah, that's the draft. I mean,
the biggest problem with this comp is the fact that On can stop every single person on their team. Kaisa can't ult when he's around. Rel can't engage when he's around.
That's what I'm saying. The drafts are bad. You just laid out why they're bad.
I'm saying the damage wasn't the problem. This is the only comp that this is genuinely the only comp that I could say they made a mistake.
There is no options for Kaisa in this game with their champions. She can.
I'll agree with that. Kaisa is not so like. Kaisa's not a bad pick in terms of damage, but she is a bad pick.
Even Rel. Rel jumps in. We saw what happened first part of the game. They just run him down easy.
Well, did you? I don't know if you saw that, but Rel actually,
to be fair, missed everything. But
he missed things. He literally one of the comps where Zinja was walking down the river. Rel flashes over the wall and misses her Q. Right here.
Yeah,
Right before.
No, I'm not saying he played the situation well, but even if he did miss everything, I don't think it really matters.
It would have. If they had gotten a lead, they would have won. They could have won this game.
Like right here, there's no option for him. He's got.
There are games where I think you genuinely just lose. Like every time, I know Genji loves canyons in Italy, but every time you pick Nidalee, you have a time-gated thing, and if you don't have a massive lead with Nidalee, you're gonna lose the game. Nidalee is just a bad champion. There's problems.
This
I don't
part,
think
yeah.
any of these
Lord.
games. I don't think any of these games were defined by that. I think all of them kind of worked out relatively okay. So
I still have hope in James.
About
my God.
for what? You guys just trash talked me for putting my stream link. I don't want to hear you guys.
Why aren't they just calling you Diddy the last couple episodes?
I don't want to talk about the Diddy stuff because I was hoping they forgot that part. They've been calling me Diddy for like a month. I don't know why.
Well, that's it. T1 are the world champions, and Faker is just inevitable. He's just the.
I will say this is probably not as impressive as their last year's. I do think their last year they were a more concrete team because of their shot calling. But Faker played way better than he's played in like 10 years. This is the best version of Faker we've seen in close to a decade.
Well, I'll think last year they had an easier opponent.
Well, no, it's just the way they played the map. I think they played better last year.
It's easier to play better against a team that was that.
No. So the mistakes that they made around the map. Again, I think one thing BLG did do was pressure them into being able to make mistakes. I'll give them credit for that. They did, and BLG when they got in the lead, they usually did really well.
BLG actually convincingly beat them in games. I mean, Weibo couldn't do that at all.
Well, reason that game 1 happened is because SKT made a lot of mistakes. We could just look at and BLG came back with Ash arrows, did they not? Is that the game they did in it? Where
that's kind of their comp, though.
Yeah, but it's Ash arrows hitting consistently on priority targets where they're extended is very hard to do.
Well,
they didn't win game 1. They got very lucky with those Ash arrows that turned the game around.
I'm saying they also have Skarner in this game too.
Yeah,
Skarner can easily pick people off as well.
No, what won them game 1 was the Ash arrows hitting onto perfect targets. Jay Biddy, don't call me Jay Biddy.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is the game where BLG were constantly out team fighting them. Even when they team fought it.
So they got leads. So they were losing until Ash got like 3
Oh, now I remember.
Got a bunch of gold off that.
Kalen was already behind because he had to blow Flash in their level 1 trade. Remember that. He already started laying off to the back foot, which is a strategy to do. But
let's look at the early game kills on this, where they all came from.
Well, I mean, they're supposed to be on Ash. You want those to be on Ash. There's no one Yoshi would want it on. Also, Gumayusi getting cut out constantly in this game didn't help him either. I don't know. Any Caitlyn game he has just runs it down. I don't know. That's just crazy. How does this guy keep doing that? Don't give that man. I even said this too. Carry is not good on Braum. I don't know why they keep giving it to him. He's just terrible on Braum. Just doesn't function like a player on that champion at all. All right.
Am I back?
You were never gone.
Yeah.
I was gone.
Really? You were still here.
Well, no, I'm good. I'm back now. I disconnected, but it didn't disconnect me from the call.
Fair enough. All right. So that's it. I mean, after this episode, we're gonna do our Worlds recap episode like we did last year. A lot of people like that when I clap James in every single league debate.
I don't even know why you argue with me sometimes, man. I got like 1,500 hours more than you in the league.
Because you glaze the most obscure things possible. You don't think any game of these series were decided by draft. None of them.
I don't think any of them were decided. Decided. Really? No. I genuinely think only game 5 was arguable, but even then they could have won the game if they got a lead.
Yeah, I would say if you give a team the best jungler in the game right now in this tournament, which is Skarner over, I'm pretty sure a team could win with that at the most basic level. That would be a drafting mistake.
I do think Jay. Well, they didn't have Skarner that last game. They had Jay Zinzhao.
No, but BLG won a game playing Skarner.
They won the game playing Ash ults.
That's what you do.
Well, no, I'm just telling you, those Ash ults. You really don't understand how uncommon it is to hit Ash priority ults in an extended situation.
Yeah, that's why later on T1 had to ban that from. I mean, both of their ADCs played Ash very well. It makes sense why.
I think Gumayusi plays Ash better, but Elk had amazing ults. Gumayusi, Elk is not a top 5 ADC in the world. I don't think he is.
Give me your 5 other better ones then.
I think that Gumayusi is better. I think that Light is arguably better. I think that
they're about. Doesn't Elk beat Light constantly?
I don't care about who wins. I'm telling you, Light is a better.
No, he wins way more consistently and dominant. That's not really like a just saying.
Honestly,
I
think aiming was better this year too. I think that
he played pretty bad at Worlds this year.
He did play. He wasn't bad at Worlds. I think the team was bad, and when you play,
first kill me now. Oh no, Reckless is the world champion.
I love Reckless. I don't really care about that.
Chaz, you can have this. I'm done.
Yeah, Reckless won world champion. He wins it, and the crazy part, he wins it in Europe. He wins it in Europe.
Yeah, you don't quite understand.
After
he's
T1 clapped G2's cheeks. They clapped him 2-0.
I hate life.
Honestly, now that I think about it, he's probably the 5th best ADC. I was wrong. He is probably in the top 5. And that's Elk.
Okay, who do you got? Okay. Who are your 4 ADCs over Elk?
I had Aiming, Gumayusi, and Light. Definitely better than him. And then I was... Who's the 4th one? I swear I just...
Masu.
Honestly, no. I'm not going to hype him up. Masu played... That one game, I think that
my guy Viper is just eloed hell. I think he is
Viper
better than
was
Elk.
better. Viper was better than Elk all year, except for at Worlds because Elk had better chance. He had a better team. So Viper is probably the 4th person. But that was.
I don't know if I'll put Light over Elk.
I do think.
I'm just saying, if you're building a team and you said Elk is your ADC, that's perfectly fine with me. I'm not even.
I mean, Elk's not bad. I'm just saying Elk was touted as the best ADC at Worlds, and I don't think it's even close.
I can understand why. Makes no sense.
Elk doesn't output as much damage as the rest of them. He's not consistent enough.
Really just depends on which champion you're on.
They build front to back team comps. That's just how it works.
Yeah, if you put your eggs in his basket, he will carry games. The Kai'Sa one.
I don't think they had hard team. The only actually hard series they had was against SKT. The rest of their games were just handed. They made it to the finals being coasted.
Well, they made it to the finals playing. Well, they played Hololive.
Hololive
played Weibo.
They played Hololive. Well, the problem with the Hololive is that Hololive just kept trying to team fight them instead of trying to play. Hololive is
BLG. Oh, sorry, I'm frozen.
No,
okay.
Oh no, you're good. You're good.
They're fine. BLG as a team can. That's what we saw the series was close as it was. They're a team that can fight them. The Korean team.
I think that. At the end of the day, the only reason they even won game 1 is because the Ash Arrows. They only got that lead. They were losing the game until that happened. I really
weren't.
They were. Go back.
They were not.
BLG
were not losing. No way.
They were losing in terms of pressure. I can tell you, guarantee. Go back.
I'm watching it right now. No,
we're not. Okay, go back to it right now.
T1 was behind the whole time.
They were automatically behind just based off Caitlyn flashing. Him blowing the flashable one.
Well, you're just already. You're talking about the stupid one summoner. I'm talking about the pressure on the map.
Just that puts them behind because the reason why they're picking her is to honestly play Caitlyn, lane well, dive in consistently.
Just so you know, Ash counters Caitlyn. Caitlyn is not a counter to Ash. It's the opposite.
In early game, she is.
No, in early game, Ash literally only has 15 less range, and she outranges her with W.
All Caitlyn has to do is put on traps and just Q her.
You can't trap her. You have to walk into that.
That's why you pair Caitlyn with Braum. But it didn't matter because they got behind
you pick Ash, Jinx, and Bars to counter Caitlyn. Those are the 3 ADCs in the game that counter Caitlyn.
Right here. He's essentially out of the game.
No, I'm not disagreeing with this. These were mistakes. This is where they started falling behind. But I never.
I'll say once from this moment on, he's useless.
And it's not useless. He never amounted to anything until Ash started getting a bunch of picks.
Horrible in the mid game, like you said.
Yeah, but she's not. She's also losing in the early game to Ash. She's gonna lose. Ash is not gonna be.
And the reason why you said Ash is better in the lane, they knew if they blew that flash, it's 4v5
automatic. She had flash. How did Caitlyn win this lane? Caitlyn literally is outranged by Ash.
No, it didn't matter though.
Well, I'm just telling you,
that didn't Caitlyn's flash early on.
So the big things about this is, again, this Yone game, this is the one I was talking about. He is absolutely garbage in Yone. I never think they should pick it again.
Yeah.
I don't.
You said it was drafting that wasn't decided.
I don't think the draft is because the draft itself is good. If we take out players, these comps are not bad.
Part of drafting is understanding what the players can play at their best of their abilities.
The reason, the big thing about Yone is that I think Faker can play him serviceably. But I don't think when Faker's playing as well as he is, I don't think you should do that.
No. But the reason why you draft certain things to your players is you believe they can play to the highest ability. Well, he can't play Yone to the highest ability, so it's automatically you're walking on eggshells right there.
Yeah, I think he could have played him well, and I think they could have won this game.
Also, Yone and Silas is pretty rough for Yone, I will say.
Yeah, they picked him so they didn't pick Smolder. Smolder is
Yone has to obviously E in, Q, W, auto Q. Silas could just E away from most of it, avoid it, chain him, stop him.
You can't chain him. So if you try and chain, he just goes back. So Silas can never chain into him.
First of all, if he snaps, if Yone E's forward and Silas chains and snaps to you, you'll just snap back. That's weird. Huh. Wouldn't you just stop in place? Oh, it wouldn't matter because the shadow's there and you would go back automatically.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a weird.
So
that's weird.
Silas can never trade well into it, but Silas does counter him because you can never go fully into him. That is a big reason.
This is the one where they stole a grub. Yeah, I remember the game. I know I remembered it.
I'm starting to think I might have mixed up game 3 with game 1.
Chaz, I hate this man. Throw him away.
No, because
I think you did.
Let me think.
He's right challenging in the mid lane against the Silas.
Let me rewatch this because I'm trying to make sure
this game. I remember this.
No, because I think this is the game where SKT got 3 kills immediately, turned the game around.
No, that's game 2.
No, game 2. No, game. Let me see.
Game 2. I remember.
No. Yeah, that's where it happens. They turn this game around at this moment. And then SKT starts winning again.
I wouldn't say it's just turned around.
It is a lot of gold to lose on 2 of your Fetish carries. I think SKT's full on. They get a lot of plates off this. They get a lot of momentum, and I think they start winning the game.
This could have maybe got them back into the game.
The gold is equalized. Look at the gold.
Yeah. I'm just saying. This is what they got the 3 kills. Yeah, I remember. They never did anything substantially to push their leads on both.
So the reason they were never able to is you start watching later on. Ash's arrows start going. She starts hitting very.
So BLG probably realized, wait a minute, if we just prioritize and make
you can't make consistent just banking on Ash hitting arrows is impossible. You can't build a comp around Ash getting long range engages because this one
if he's standing right there in front of turrets, pretty easy.
You know what? I really think if he had not tried to jump that way, he would have been fine. That Ash ult was a lot easier to hit, but very good, and it turned this team fight because if they didn't hit it,
and like this before, when the problem with drafting, they have Skarner. BLG has the best champion jungler in the game, which is Skarner. I don't understand why anybody they didn't give away any more after this game.
Well, no, it's just I don't disagree with that. Skarner is the best character in the game.
Yeah, I'm saying but they did the thing is I think BLG has 2 overpowered picks.
So when you start looking at the highlights, it looks a little different. Like SKT was in charge of the game for like 6 to 7 minutes after that. Gnar. After the Gnar play, SKT took over the map, and
I would say in charge as if like they made it less blowout.
No, they were winning. They were. BLG couldn't contest them anymore.
Not on the map pressure.
Well, no, watch this. When this happens, this turns the game back around. Because SKT is genuinely winning the game at this, and then a lot of the things SKT still doesn't look horrible. I still don't know why Carrier got caught there.
Because Carrier was just running in fog of war constantly with no vision.
Yeah, he didn't respect them. That was weird.
He's just a bad Braum player. I don't know why he picks Braum. He's a crackhead on Braum. He's a terrible Braum player.
Yeah, but I genuinely think that I don't think right here, Ben again makes another mistake. Drives me crazy how badly he played.
Oh, this is the one where you tried picking him up. Actually, this is better for BLG because they invested so much into. Ben had already baited everything out of Faker anyway, and they'd already pushed on.
The problem is
they only left
with the
Owner
lead,
and Carrier.
With the lead that they had, they were going to take the top turret anyways.
Yeah.
So that
I think this is worse for SKT because they lost 2 turrets.
And I'm just saying. Yeah. Just imagine a world where they don't do that. They still lose the turret and get nothing. They got something out of that because Ben over.
Did they get the inhib in this one? No, they didn't get the inhib. They lost 2 turrets and they got 2 kills.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty worth.
No, it's not worth because they're already going to get it. They were already going to get that. The part, regardless, I don't think it would have made a difference if Gnar was there.
Yeah, because someone has to invest 3 members right here, and they throw Owner and carry it.
So again, that Elkol, that was another. He hit 3 really good ones in this game. I forgot the other one.
Man is just a fucking American sniper there, but he's a Wang Xingshang egg roll motherfucker, so he's not.
And that was a lot of gold to get.
Jesus.
I honestly, without that Gnar hitting, I think this game. I mean, that
because
hitting Gnar.
After the gold went even, it didn't really matter if the gold went even. T1 really didn't do anything significantly to break the game.
They got a lot of deep wards, and they did get a lot more. So they were not poised to take Dragon. Like BLG was going to give Dragon before that happened. They were
but BLG have better Dragon control anyway.
Well, no, right? BLG was going to give it up. They were not going to try this again. This drove me crazy. Honestly,
they're not a good Caitlyn Braum team. I don't know why they keep picking it. They're bad at Caitlyn Braum.
Well, it's just getting caught.
Remember that one the DRX World Championship? They picked Caitlyn, Karma, and never pushed the pace of the game. Yeah. We know they know how to push the pace of the game from that top series. So if anyone tells me they can't, you're a crackhead.
The only person I think shouldn't have played their character is Faker. I don't think he should have played Young. Beyond that,
He could have picked Oriana, maybe had a better impact than on Yone.
I just anybody but Yone. He should never play Yone again.
That's what I'm trying to say. When you said earlier the drafting didn't hurt, he's not good on Yone.
The game was
they're
not
bad on
decided
Caitlyn
by
Braum.
that because the game was decided by, first of all.
No, what I'm saying is, you see the way that when they're not on those champions, they know how to play the game out perfectly. When they're on those champions, they just brains fall off.
If this man was on Varus and in that position, he'd still die. You can't be that far extended. You just can't.
What I'm saying is that's the onus on the coach. If I'm a coach, I'm not giving them any combination of champions. I know they're not good at it, and I know they don't know how to play the game.
They're not
the way they usually play them out.
First, you're exaggerating how badly he is at Caitlyn. His Caitlyn was one of the best in the world.
What I'm saying is
the very known thing.
They don't play the game the same level they normally do without
Braum
those champions.
Extending into their fog of war is just him making a mistake because he's not thinking. Yeah, that's just a mistake. That's not a
Carry likes to play more engaged supports that can ease his way out of fights.
Braum going into fog of war is not a Braum problem. It's a carrier problem there. He didn't make that mistake.
Badass titties.
I think he would have done fine later on in the game if he didn't play Braum. I mean, if he started not done that. If he didn't get caught there, my brain didn't work.
Well,
like his Braum isn't that bad.
Well, T1 did end up winning Worlds. That's it. They finally beat BLG in a best of 5. They won World Championship. Had they just beaten DRX in 2022, they'd have 6 World Championships.
This is the best that BLG played at Worlds, though.
This finals is better than last year's finals. I'll tell you that. Last year's finals, we were watching it. James was like, "Man, stay up for Weibo." No, I'm going to bed. 3-0.
I never said 3-0. Stay up for Weibo.
Yes, you did. You're like, I think they can win a game.
I did think they could win a game.
I was like, these motherfuckers about to get 3-0'd.
BLG was trash that last year. I think they were the most hype team.
That's why I said if they face BLG this year, it's going to be a more entertaining.
Well, BLG is better this year. BLG doesn't make the same mistakes. BLG has a better. The game was defined by their jungler last year.
Are you slandering the god of Yigao?
I don't think Yigao is the problem. It's stupid. What's his name in the jungle last year?
I mean, one of the biggest reasons why they win games is because of Bin.
And Bin was garbage this series.
It's crazy. Every time he's in a Worlds, because he was in Worlds Finals for with Suning when he got that pentakill on Fiora, but outside of that pentakill, he didn't play well that series either.
I just don't. I maybe it's the pressure because I do know he's better than that. I know he's not going to be backed by Zeus that much.
Because he's the reason why they've gotten. He was even good even when they looked bad with.
I was so angry at watching Bin play poorly. I was just slandering him for so long because he's just upset me. That's not the player he is. But
I was just losing my mind. I don't know.
I
just don't see where you don't think the drafting's all that bad. I think the drafting is terrible as some of this game's going for BLG.
None of the games were decided by draft. There were some bad drafts.
Why are BLG prioritizing Ziggs? There's way better champions to play.
They didn't prioritize Ziggs because they have a comp that doesn't have a lot of AP damage, and he just already has.
What they were going for is to have a champion that can basically pick someone off and have easy engage, right?
Yes.
Ziggs can do that.
They're not looking for somebody that does long gauge and picks people off. Ziggs doesn't do that. That's not what they want.
I would say if you want to do, I don't understand why did Jin fall off in priority though? I just don't. Well,
Jin just doesn't do a lot of he's good.
Well, Jin doesn't do a lot of damage. That's true.
No, he doesn't do sustained damage. That he's pretty much. He only has 4 autos. The big problem with Jin is his lack of mobility and his inconsistent engage.
Yeah, I just don't get the game 4 draft is just it's so abysmal. Game 5 is just so disgusting, awfully.
I think you put too much
not good
on the draft there.
The players could have played it out better. The problem here is the BLG's comp. I will say this for Game 5. Had they not greeted for shit they should not have greeted for, it does look a little bit closer. Because if the Kai'Sa's able to scale and the Jax is able to get back into the game by scaling, because it shows even in that fight, even in the Game 5, it shows that Bin knows how to fight. He knows where to get into a team fight. Had their comp been able to get into a late game scenario, there's a chance they could probably turn it around.
My problem with that comp is that, that game is the fact that look at a straight 5v5. BLG won that 5v5. They won the fight. There's nothing that SGT could do. They had to run away. And if Ben had not just been an idiot, they would have just been.
I was like, maybe I haven't heard the voice comms. I don't know if they baited them into that. Because Owner
did not think he would TP.
Because Owner himself played that fight pretty well. I mean, I would be surprised if someone.
The moment they saw the TP, because you can't.
Right here. Look how much value he just got out of doing this. Is why is the other problem with BLG. That, like you said, team fighting can be their biggest strength and weakness. Look how much value Owner got out of doing this. I don't know how he's able to do this. he got so much value in this team fight. Okay, so he just solos out Jun, force him to Cataclysm. Okay, now Cataclysm's gone. Now he's going to go after On. He kills On himself with no ult. He just autoed him to death.
He didn't force this. I do want to point out that Cataclysm was enormous for this fight. That's what won them the fight.
Yeah, but he did force him to do it, so he doesn't have it for this fight.
Well, no, the reason, again, SKT was not going to look until they get, so you can't see a TP in Fog of War on the map, but you can see if you walk close to it. When they walked to that middle of the part of the map is when they saw the TP, because that's where your screen size is. That's
also another problem with the fight. That's why I don't like Kaisa here. Look how much damage he's doing. He has he's got 3 items. He has Nashor's Tooth, Rage Blade, and Static Shit. No damage.
He only got to auto twice there.
Well, it's pretty hard to auto when Galio's on top of you, fisting you.
I'm not going to blame him for that. I do think L couldn't have played that better because they just lost the fight so hard. But I think the initial fight, SKT was outplayed. They did get outplayed by everybody.
I think it was all played by. I'd never seen him play that good in the team.
Owner, let's look at the J4 won that fight. J4 won the fight for BLG, and then he lost the fight for BLG, right?
Owner initially saved the fight for T1. I was like, yeah, Jun. I mean, it's pretty easy to Cataclysm because Gumayusi already ulted there.
Well, no, Gumayusi ulted in the Cataclysm. So if you ult before, what's it called? Before Xayah ults, even as she's ulting, she's stuck in the Cataclysm, so she has to flash. He forced out the flash, which means Jax gets a free kill her.
That's another reason why they lose this fight. Not only just because I think Owner played it very well. Knight ruined, and you blame Ben. Knight ruined the entire fight. I forgot I watched this. Oh my goodness, Knight just ran it down. Yeah. So going to this fight, oh my god, Knight is the pressure. Look at this. Okay, so Owner and Jun saved their teams their fight. I think both of them did very well. I mean, Jun got already chunked out anyway, but he did what he needed to do. He locked down Zion and he got her killed by Ben. I was watching this. Look at what Knight does after this. Your mid laner should not be doing this. This is beyond troll. He cannot engage in the Galio because, Galio just taunt him. Look at what Knight does. Knight just stands there, get caught out. He's all the damage right now for the team. Got instantly blown up. That's what they can win the team fight. Doesn't matter if Ben's there. Knight got immediately blown up.
He flashed on him. So, you're talking about a situation where no one expected Faker. No one expected Faker to flash there, besides me.
But that's wrong with BLG. Why are they not respecting that? Why would he not flash onto him?
Because SKT was obviously weaker at that point. They couldn't.
And then he knows if he flashes taunts him, he knows he can kill him. I know he has a man advantage, but it doesn't really matter if BLG have nothing in their arsenal. There's nothing.
They would have won. So
they have no ults. They have no summoner spells.
Do you think SKT is running away because you think they're baiting them?
It could be.
It's not true. SKT is running away because if they fought them right there, they would have lost.
Yeah. BLG wins. I think they lose either way. They have no ults. It
doesn't matter.
This is the issue. T1 was running away. Ben was behind him. He was in the bad positioning. And by the time he got there, Faker was still in a good enough health where he was able to ult, went up, and he caught Knight, who was in the middle of nowhere. He shouldn't have been there. He should have.
Yeah, his positioning is terrible. He's the only damage on their team. He's all the damage until Kaisa scales up and Jax. He should never be that close to him, ever.
Because at that point, it was a 4v3 because Gumayusi and Carrier are down. Then On just gets obliterated.
Okay, they're for sure baiting them into some degree here.
They're not. They don't go. Owner is the first person to get in range. This is the moment they know that Faker. This is the moment they know he's TVing because this is the first time.
So he flashes and flash taunts. Knight should not be here. No reason Knight should be here.
Well, I'm just saying. Faker immediately sees the TP and flashes it. You can make the argument that you could have thought about that, but that's all. Most every mid laner would have fallen for that. Besides, honestly, Faker. The one big thing that hasn't fallen off is decision making. You know that you're winning the fight. You know that you're going to win the fight because you're inherently stronger at this point in the game.
But that's the problem right now. They have nothing else more on. First of all, Owner still doesn't use his ult, as we can see right here. He doesn't. He still has his ult. That's very big for Jhin. He's still full health. Faker is still full health, and he has flash. Faker still has his ult.
I do want to point out this is one of the least. Every single character besides maybe Jarvan, is almost not fully just not fully affected by their ult being gone. That's just the reality of it. So J4 ults. I mean, not J4. Jack's ulting is not really combat for the most part. Well, it is actually not. I forgot. They gave him the third auto on that one. But Kai'Sa ult is defensive. Knight's ult is not really offensive either.
Yeah.
And it's still up at this point. It is still up.
But all of that will be good if they have them.
Well, I'm just saying, it's not going to... The big thing about BLG's comp is that it's not ult-reliant. It's not an ult-reliant comp. You still win fights without it.
What makes your picks easier?
Well, it makes some things easier. I'm just saying the reason they lost this fight is because no one expected...
had terrible positioning.
But they didn't expect Figure to flash.
No, this is what I'm trying to say. Like, you were saying BLG weren't that smart at macro. This is the problem with them. Constant over-aggression can do this. Owner still has everything up, so does Faker. You saying Ben, this is troll. I don't know why he did that.
I just was so upset by Ben TPing. I think
maybe he just got PayPal to do that because that makes I still believe, even if he was there, like you said, it doesn't matter.
No, it would have fine. It would have.
There's no way. Flash, they already killed. They one-shotted him right here. They still have their ult.
It made sense. The issue is you didn't when Knight.
Look! Oh my god! I just right now. Look what Ben just did. The helicopter. What's it called? The E, where he does the counter strike.
Counter strike.
That man counter strike Faker as he ulted and hit nothing. So not like he got no value out of his TP.
The reason
look what he does. Counter strikes and gets nothing out of it.
Yep.
Because Zeus hourglassed.
Yep.
Well, even if he's not gonna, even if you kill Zeus, the ult's already gonna go down.
Yeah, I don't know why they before we get to the fight. Why are they chasing them? They already won it
because they were gonna push. So they were trying to force SKT to either run away or fight them. That was their plan because they know that if SKT runs away, they're just gonna take 1 to 2 turrets there.
Yeah.
If SKT fights them, where Ben isn't like a mile away, they are gonna win the fight.
Yeah.
That was their mindset, and that's the reason.
Saying, based off them winning that fight, and they barely won that fight. Owner played that fight as pretty much as good as he can. He got them.
Well, no, he last hit a support that was out of the fight.
He autoed Jun completely down.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Jun's out of the fight regardless.
Yeah,
Jun's out of the fight, and honestly, BLG was just in bad position.
Come on, Jun got 3 kills, baited out. I mean, not Jun. Oh my god, Owner baited out, got 3 kills himself, soloed Jun almost. And still has his ult. And
he didn't bait out the Cataclysm. The Cataclysm was going out on a Kai'Sa.
We have to do Cataclysm on him.
No, he wanted to do Cataclysm. The whole reason they picked J4 is because old
Jarvan has to do the Cataclysm. So if they fight again, well, Owner's going to be more valuable because now he does have his ult. He's not lost any of his health.
Owner, J4, and Zai. So J4 is more valuable than Xin without ults. Both 1-to-1 because J4 has AoE knockup still.
Mm-hmm.
Jin Zhao has to not dash in and all this stuff. There's a lot of
but in isolated 1v1s, when they're trying to do those team fights, Jin Zhao is much better. He just ran them down as you saw.
It's not an isolated 1v1 though. That's you're talking about.
If you get them in a situation where you're skirmishing, because T1's really good at skirmishing, he can just straight up maul them down like he just did.
J4 is a better champion without ults. No ult to no ult, J4 is a better champion.
No, I'm not talking about I'm talking about straight up like, hey, if I see this guy in a skirmish, I can run them down if I need to.
Yeah, but if he engaged on J4, they were lost.
That's just crazy. He ran into them fighting him fully 1v3. What a crazy man.
I think, and I want to point out, it's hard. It's easy to speculate what could have happened. I'm not going to disagree.
What could have happened? We watched the entire game.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it's easily to speculate what could have happened if they didn't do what they did. But Knight couldn't have known that Faker was going to flash. No,
I want to know. I don't know if boys comes out. I want to know if they baited them in because they did. That's incredible if they did.
Well, how would they
I don't think they baited him in. It was just bad positioning. Knight, I don't know why Knight was right there where he was, and he just stopped moving for like.
The reason why it's more worse on Knight than Ben, Knight's all their damage right there. He's all their damage. He's the pillar of their comp before the Kai'Sa and the Jack scale. So if he dies in those fights, because he's supposed to get the Ari charms to pick them off, he dies first, it's over no matter what it is.
Okay, Ben was TPing from behind, right?
Yeah, but it wouldn't have mattered either way because if Knight dies first, go ahead.
His TP didn't even make sense. He could have probably caught up to the guy if he just.
No, I'm saying it doesn't matter in general. Ari is throwing off the charms to get them to start the picks off. If he dies first, he's all their damage.
Let's imagine a team fight. So we're in a team fight, and there's just 2 people. There's 2 carries and a tank on both teams. If let's say 2 tanks. Sorry, one of the tanks is late to the fight, which means that when I CC a champion, my 2 carries can just wail on the ADC on that tank. But if both tanks are in the fight, one of the other tank is going to try and engage on the ADCs or the carries that are trying to kill the tank, and they're not going to be able to free fire on them. You're not going to be able to kill all of them as fast as you are if Jax is there. He's just going to stop.
Though they would be.
They wouldn't be because Jax is there.
Neglecting the fact that
I'm not
both of the sufficient engaged carries had all their health, all their summoners, and their ult.
Not so you can't just ignore Jax. If Jax is there,
with their comp
you can't. You can never engage. You can't. You just can't do it. If Jax is there, he has Counter-Strike. He's going to stun 2 to 3 people if they all engage there immediately. He's just going to do that. And
actually, if he jumps in, Gragas easily could just body slam him away.
You don't have to jump. So if you flash in there, you just walk up.
What I'm saying is they were already starting a losing team fight from their position. BLG had no ult, no summoner spell. Jax has half health.
I'm telling you, me and SKT both knew the same thing. I'm just saying the reality of it. SKT was running, BLG was chasing, and it's because SKT would not have won the fight in a straight up 4v3 there. 3v4. They wouldn't have. SKT wasn't baiting them. Why do you think they ran?
Even if they weren't baiting them, it wouldn't have mattered anyway.
I do want to point out, if they were baiting them, they would have just, instead of running away, they would have just went in on them, correct?
So it's crazy. If they actually were baiting them and this TP flank happened.
Okay.
Listen, even if they weren't baiting them at all, doesn't matter. BLG can't win the fight.
Joseph, go back to the fight. I want you to go back and watch.
No, I'm talking about this. This is the one point that makes sense. This is what I think, right? You said this one?
No, that fight. So look at this. SKT starts running away. They're running away, correct?
Yes, because they don't have an ADC.
Yeah, they're running away because if they don't have an ADC, so they're going to lose the fight, correct?
Yeah, and Carria, did he die there? Yeah, Carria died there. So it's a 3v4. Keep in mind, BLG blew all their ults, so they have nothing of their big tools to kill them. Yes, they do.
What does Elk matter with? What is? How does Elk help here?
If you knock off 3, if you actually whittle them down with their damage, you can just easily just Kai'Sa just ults in.
And I do want to point out, Ahri has ult here.
Yes,
Ahri
it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
because they didn't track Faker's flash.
They knew Faker had flash. They didn't expect it because I'm just telling you.
Or maybe they didn't respect Faker's flash. Right here,
no one expected.
Knight trolled the entire fight just by being there.
No one expected Faker to flash, including yourself. No one did. No, I didn't expect it.
He can ult away like you said.
He has ult. The ults that matter is only J4. J4 ult is not going to turn a fight, though. It doesn't do much damage.
Well, to be fair, it did for this one.
Well, no, because if he ulted there, even if J4 had ult, he would have ulted them all, sticking them next to Xin Zhao.
But we're also neglecting the fact that Owner sold 3 of them by himself. So he's pretty powerful at this point of the game, right? So I wouldn't challenge this guy.
Support by himself here.
So they're running away, which will make sense. You don't have your ADC or your support, but Xin Zhao and Galio still having their ults and full health is going to turn the team fight no matter what it is.
Well, it's not. I mean, Ahri has ult still.
Well, we saw it.
Jax. No, we saw Jax. I mean, stupid. What's it called? Faker jump into it.
Yes, the reason why Faker knew that if he killed Knight, the team fight's over.
Yes, it wouldn't matter. It's going to happen regardless, though.
Yeah, so it wouldn't matter if it's 4v3 anyway, because they can easily burst her down like you saw. He straight up killed 3 of them by himself.
You think that the fight was won by lacks of ults, and I'm just telling you, none of the ults that mattered there because.
No, I'm saying the fight is lost for several reasons: lack of ult, lack of summoner spells, lack of preparation on the team fight. Many things.
They had summoner spells there. Stupid Kai'Sa had everything up.
Well, she had no damage. It really did matter.
Kai'Sa had everything up there. J4 ult is not really going to do anything in that situation. It's just not.
Well, I wasn't counting J4 ult, but I'm saying BLG.
What ult are you talking about then?
I'm saying, well, having ults in team fights would definitely help you.
What ult are you talking about? You just said.
Are you saying not having any? Are you saying not? Are you saying on not having his here?
No, I'm telling you, the 4 people that were there, J4 ults. You just said doesn't matter. Kai'Sa just doesn't need.
Well, the reason it doesn't matter is you already used it.
Well, I'm just saying. But even if it was there, I'm just saying it doesn't help in this fight. It just.
So you're saying Jax not having his ult would not turn the team fight around?
Jax's ult is probably still up. It's like a 15-second thing, and it's just barely.
Doesn't have it.
It's on cooldown, but it's a 15-second. All it does is make his auto attack.
Yeah.
It's still probably going on.
The only thing I'm pointing out is BLG challenging them at this point doesn't. I know Galio and Jinal can turn a fight. I know that. As they just did. It's simple.
So the thing is, with Faker in the position he was, if he doesn't flash, he can't ult.
Yeah.
They would have stopped him.
He was actually pretty smart to keep it. That's what I'm saying. He played pretty well. We'll give him that for this game.
I mean,
Keeping his flash that long, that's great.
Well, I mean, he wasn't in the initial fight. That's why.
Yeah, Knight's. No one will convince me Knight's position. Knight's position is terrible.
I didn't try
even if he didn't have flash, him just justice punching into Ari would kill him. Jim would just jump on him immediately.
He would have just ulted away. He still had a charge.
I think he used one.
Yeah, he still had a charge. And when you get a kill,
it's 3. Yeah.
No, when you get a kill or an assist, you get an extra charge.
Oh, it never used to be like that. Oh, shit.
Yeah, they changed that.
Fuck.
I think it's 2 years ago they changed that.
Him. Look, he already did. No, he didn't flash. He did. Yeah, he flash charmed misses. So he already has that down.
I'm not even going to deny that.
That's just bad positioning. He screwed.
I'm not going to deny that Knight lost this fight. He did. But I think it's hard to say. In hindsight, it's a lot easier to say what he did wrong.
I would say if you had a ADC with damage BLG, like maybe a Jinx, maybe your team fight works a bit better. But no,
if Jinx was there, she wouldn't survive.
Any champion with significant damage.
She would have died earlier there because Jinx she's one of the most mobile.
A better support for that team is Karma.
The problem with Karma is just that she's just not as good as she used to be.
T1's combat shields, heals, engage. I'm saying I know it's a 4v3, but it doesn't really matter if Galio can jump on someone and Zen can burst. He literally just bursts him down just by autoing him. So using abilities.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that. They got a very good engage. I'm not trying to take away from that.
No, I'm saying that so the numbers advantage doesn't matter. What they have.
The numbers advantage very much mattered. They had a 3v3 there. They fought a 3v3. And then Jax came back. I'm just telling you, Jax wasn't there for half of it. I don't know what you want.
I don't know why you keep blaming Ben. Knight is their carry in that fight, and he just ran it down completely.
Well, because they
wouldn't have mattered anyway.
The ult there, so if Knight doesn't go up, it means they're going to get away. That's the problem.
I would say if he waited for Ben, maybe then I agree.
If they waited for Ben, if they wait and don't push on to Ben, I'm not going to take away. Knight did position poorly. We can't deny that. I'm not trying.
No, I'm saying you said about Ben's TP. If they wait for Ben to TP and to get into an actual position to flank them in a way, keep in mind they still had Zonia's.
If Ben didn't TP, they couldn't have won in on him. That's just the reality.
His TP was also predictable because they saw him one place and he disappears.
Did you see him with the scrying orb?
No, you can see it out of vision.
You're right.
Yeah.
So, and keep in mind, also if he's gonna run down Gragas as a squishy target, Zayu still had his Zonias. It's another thing you can't kill him. You know, saying T1 kept all their valuable tools up. Yeah, it's a 3v4, but it doesn't really matter if your most valuable tools in a team fight are still up, you know? And I can't even say BLG played that fight bad. That's what Ben's supposed to do. Ben's supposed to get in the back line and
kill the ADC. The back line where he killed the ADC was good. The TP was god-awful.
That's so troll.
That TP was horrible. I'm not going to deny, I think that Ben played the fight really well until that point. I think that
Knight just ran it down. That's horrible.
Knight flash missing was incredible. I think that was really bad. I actually, the very first time I watched it, I didn't even notice that he flashed. What's it called? Because I was watching the TP being like,
he actually flashed. He tried to catch Faker with the flash charm and miss. So he didn't even.
No, he tried to catch what's his name?
Owner.
Yeah. Even if he hits that, you're not going to kill him.
That's what I'm trying to say. He's their whole damage until Jax and Kai'Sa scale. He's their entire damage until then. If he dies in those fights, it's pretty much over. Yeah. That's what you guys were said. Remember the last fight they played? He's not there. Well, he's their damage. So if he's not there, they win the fight, obviously. You know?
Honestly, I feel like we're getting nowhere with this conversation because we're just saying
what are you talking about?
We're disagreeing with each other.
Are we supposed to just automatically agree with each other?
No. I'm just saying I don't think either one of us is going to switch in our positions.
I'm just saying there's different ways we look at the fight till it won. I'm just saying them greeting, just in general, greeting for that is pretty troll. Just in general, they already got what they needed out of the fight. You could just reset the map, push a wave out. But no, BLG's constant over aggression, just screw them because they're just idiots. Well, at the end of the day, T1, we'll still a little bit of time. T1 still managed to win. Chaz want to talk about 100 Thieves earlier, so we're going to talk about that. 100 Thieves. So we actually went over remember when I had sex with Lennon and I had her titties jiggling in my face? Woo!
Sure.
No.
Nope. I don't remember that.
You know, I remember when I had. They announced the thank you Tomo. It was today.
Yeah, I saw that.
Thank you, Tomo. Well, who's going to be their ADC then? I guess.
Trust me, there was a whole rumor about that. Yeah.
I don't get it. I mean, he comes in, he saves them because Meech is just, well, certainly a player. Let's just say that. I don't get it. Did he warrant getting kicked?
Well, no. Did you see what happened under these? They're getting They're not going to be here for very much longer.
Yeah. So
they're taking away the resources they have in the team now.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. Because I wanted to go over this because we read the Sheep Esports one. This was their official update. So obviously PR Incorporated coming up here.
Well, they did come out and say that Riot Games pretty much got rid of them. That's what they said.
In a sense.
So the way John Needham said it, I'm not saying you're wrong, but the way John Needham said it, he said that they were entertaining when Golden Guardians and EG left. They basically the rumor is basically they asked them, hey, do you guys still want in? EG, Golden Guardians left. They did it with NRG and
IMT. IMT was always gone. They were gone no matter what.
Because the thing here is, this actually, you know what's crazy? I know people didn't like the decision here. This works out better for them. They're just going to get free money from Riot. So if they run a budget team off the lower stipends they get for the revenue share pool, honestly, this works better for them. They're just going to run budget neutral, make profit.
Yeah.
So, but the problem here is people asked why would they keep them? Well, 100 Thieves actually has a pretty decent big fan base actually. So Riot if they want to get rid of 100 Thieves, that means they have to get a partner that not only has maybe a fan base, but it's substantial like them. So you want a partner that's about equal. You don't want to go, okay, so we get rid of 100 Thieves. Well, who you getting? I have, who knows, but fucking nobody.
Well, no, they got the Disguised Toast team.
Well, no, well it's
Disguised Toast is already in there. And
I'm saying the multiple team. They're shortening the teams down.
It's still 8.
Well, no, so they're getting rid of 100 Thieves. The reason they're doing that is because it would have been odd enough.
No, 100 Thieves is technically still in as a
it's still 18 because they already got. Unless they would have got rid of them, they kept NRG.
I'm saying the reason that their guest provisional team, SK, they're letting them stay for one season.
They
are getting rid of them at Riot Games, I believe, because I heard somebody come out and say in the 100 Thieves organization, I'll go look for it, that
the video
they didn't. Yeah, I'm just saying they didn't fully want to leave, but
if it's that interview where those two guys are in the closet, don't even waste your time. The guy.
Oh, you talking about the one with Jamba Juice? Oh no, I saw that. No, I think here's what I think. I think Nate just doesn't want to be in esports anymore. He's talked about there's no money. I mean, I know this myself. There's no money here. He knows that.
That plus 100 C's hit their when they came in, it was when everything was still good. And then COVID happened. The crush card happened.
I remember when WZ, you're a crackhead. All right, so
and then real quick was 100 C's hit their bubble has burst. It bursted in 2022. Once they start letting all the streamers go, that was the beginning of the end. Because think about it, they started hiring them in 2019, right before crush card. 2020, they started hiring a lot of them because they could just pay these guys to stay. And then they would pay them, kind of like a contract kind of thing. You stream and your brand name behind us. You'll still get paid by Twitch, but you also get paid by us. You'll be in certain scarcity games. And a lot of these were just socially awkward people that didn't have to be in a house. The ones that were already, the ones that you saw at the house were people before, and then the people that got hired in between were people they knew they were going to keep for 2 years, and my contract's done. Thank you for Now a lot of these people, most of these people we haven't heard before. 100 Seed, and then when they came back, when they left, they had a bigger platform that they had before, and now 100 Seeds is like they don't. It's like their League of Legends season peaked in 2021. Their Valorant 2022, I think 2023.
They win anything? Have they been? I don't follow them in Valorant.
Call of Duty is where Call of Duty and CS:GO is where they got most of their shine from.
Yeah, like even when they weren't good at League, they had success on the content creation side of it because Nate Shot realized, wait a minute, I can just make more money on the content creation side.
You don't need to make any money in esports because that's what one thing is that Disguised Toast taking their spot. I don't know if that was going
Disguised Toast not taking a spot.
They were the provisional guest team initially. They were initially.
No. Those are two.
They were one.
Two separate things. No, Disguised Toast could get relegated. 100 C's, they're just if they don't.
No, I'm not disagreeing with that, but I do want to say that Disguised Toast team was initially a provisional guest team at the start.
It is still a provisional guest team.
They are. I don't believe they are anymore. I think they got switched to a franchise team after that.
I actually don't. That I don't know. So
I do believe that's the case.
No, from what I'm hearing, that they still could get relegated, but
any team can get relegated. No, Disguised Toast can.
No, but Disguised Toast team. No, I forgot. The caveat is if you're Disguised Toast team and you come in, you have 1 year of a secure investment in the league, and then you play in the tournament to secure a spot for the next year. It's basically a longer form of not getting relegated.
100 C's doesn't have to play in that tournament. That's the difference between.
But that's the key part. But that's the other key part. If they do find a partner that's more suitable for them than 100 Thieves, they can kick rocks now at this point.
Yeah,
it's basically like I have 1 foot in the door, 1 foot out kind of thing.
Yeah, the difference between them and Disguised Toast. If Riot decides that the people that 100 C's wants to bring in is not good, they could bring in Disguised Toast and put in 100 C's place, and then they could take whoever's the second or whoever's the other team that they want to bring up from the challenger and put them in where Disguised Toast place is.
Oh my god, let me see your check. Okay.
No. I'm saying no.
I was misunderstanding because I'm trying to look it up. Because I heard that they got their spot.
They're both provisional.
Yeah.
So
both are provisional guest partners. If Disguised Toast team has to fight.
I was aware at that point. I thought when 100 Thieves, because 100 Thieves got bought out by Riot Games. That's what happened.
100 Thieves is a provisional team. Disguised Toast is a provisional guest team.
Oh,
that means they could get relegated. They could get shipped out of here if they lose that tournament. 100 Thieves, there's no relegation for them. If they decide they don't want to be here anymore, they're just gone.
If Riot.
That's the main difference. Both teams could be gone, but for 2 separate reasons.
Well, I think
Thieves is already gone regardless after this year, are they not?
I'm basically saying 100 Thieves is 1 foot in, 1 foot out the door. Anyway.
More or less. Like
so, 100 Thieves LCS update. So we read the one last week from Sheep Esports. This is one from their official account. After careful consideration, 100 Thieves has decided to sell its franchise slot in the LCS. This decision did not come lightly. Oh, I'm sure money would definitely decide that. As the LCS has been an integral part of our brand and identity since the beginning of our company, as our business continues to develop, this divestiture, what kind of word is that? Allows us to broaden our investments in esports, ventures, and partnerships, enabling us to continue experimenting, innovating, and investing in the future of our company. Despite this, through close collaboration with Riot Games, Riot has made the strategic decision to buy back the slot. This is lingo for they weren't happy with the way the LCS was growing and how much money they were making. So they were like, what do you want to do here?
Okay. From this, they're saying they're also a provisional guest partner. I mean, if they're both guest partners, because originally it was, because I haven't read this yet, but before they were provisional partners. Now, if they're a guest partner, are they just okay?
No, they were announced as a provisional guest partner in the America's video. Team.
But you remember how they stated it was not the same as
franchise.
Yeah. Remember, it's because they're not franchise.
Oh, but keep in mind, the provisional guest partner thing is just because they're trying to keep them in the league until they find someone better. So I think that's only just a thing for them. I don't think this will be a thing moving forward unless they sell their slot. That's what I think. I could be wrong, but
because from what I've read the first time is the difference because I remember 100 C's was provisional partner. Okay, they're adding the word guest to them because I didn't read the guest part for them.
That's fine.
I read provisional partner and provisional guest partner. Unless they switch the term for Disguised Toast.
Unless you want to go to the video right here.
Yeah, because I remember watching. I was like, okay, that's 100 C's.
That's why I was confused when you said that they're just a provisional team because I didn't see that term anywhere. But I was like,
that's why I said they're a team that could basically leave at any point after because I mean the contract said 2025, so they have to at least be here through 2025.
Yeah.
All right, so let's Open your eyes, Jamba. Oh my
This
god.
video is so bad.
First time here. Baddies 4 videos. Crazy.
Yeah. Oh no. I watched this video. I was like, okay, this is.
I think the worst part is
Go fine. No fine.
I'm
just saying for people,
LCS is
transparency.
LCS is so unhappy this is happening. They're very unhappy under these.
But you can't blame Nate Shot though. There's no money.
I'm not blaming him at all. I'm just saying they're heartbroken because this is one of the biggest teams.
That's actually true. Yeah, Cloud9, TL, and 100 Thieves. Yeah, they have the biggest.
It's the most popular team. And the same part is more popular because like I would say TL is kind of popular, kind of. Well, I'm talking about popularity within just regular people who don't watch esports.
I've seen people wear 100 Thieves. Yeah,
uniform and don't know that they have a League of Legends team.
That's the thing too is Riot botched franchise. I'm not going on that road, but you guys know my opinion about this. Riot botched franchising so bad. What happened to all those teams with millions of dollars they gave this godforsaken fucking company? They squandered all of it. I don't know, on fucking PDD orgies and satanic bullshit. I don't know what they make it shit up. I don't know what they spent the money on. The point where franchising didn't pan out at all. All the teams want to leave. The only reason this game, you know, all those other like teams in the Spanish league and Brazilian league left. Yeah. Keep in mind, Arnold brought this up in the on summoning on Last Three Nations channel when he was talking to Monty and Wolf. Yeah. It's not just 100 Thieves. A lot of more teams want to sell everyone. There's no money here. It's negative dollars here. It's not just them who want to sell. NRG sold. IMT sold. TSM's gone. TSM, the biggest League of Legends team, arguably of all time outside of like accomplishments, because Reginald's a fucking worthless fat fuck. All gone.
I do want to say a lot of the money that is being lost is because of a lot of the money that is being lost is because of the organizations. It is their fault.
I don't disagree with that. I'm not.
LCS, Riot Games does pay for 5.
The revenue share pool, yeah.
They'll pay. They will pay for salaries for 5 players as long as they're not too far above the minimum.
Like I could break down three orgs and why their money issues.
We'll go to this video first, and then we'll do that. Okay.
Okay.
My name is Jacob Toft Anderson, and I'm the president of 100 Thieves. With me today, I have our VP of Esports, Joseph Jang, and
Jackie Chan
wanted to talk to you about the future of 100 Thieves and our involvement in League of Legends esports. So, Joe, Riot Games just announced the inaugural season of the LTA and our involvement in it. Can you break it down to us?
Yeah, so in the inaugural season of the new LTA, 100 Thieves is going to be joining as a provisional guest partner. So to start off, what does being a provisional guest partner mean? So I wanted to say operationally, nothing changes for us in 2025.
Fair enough.
And it's not to be confused with the Northern guest team that participates in the promotional order.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, Disguise is a Northern guest team. But
no,
I get
Disguise is also a provisional guest team. They both have that same title.
So we first started talking to Riot about 6 months ago about our future in the LCS, now LTA. And one of the things that came up was the continuation of our franchise. Some of the other teams were offered to be bought out of their franchise.
You just confirmed it right there. More teams just want to leave.
Yeah.
Which was never really on the table for us. We have a lot of stakeholders involved with the company, both in the day-to-day as well as our board. And in talking to our board, we also came to the realization that it would be great to have that kind of capital for us to secure a runway for years to come. But at the same time, we're deeply committed to esports and Riot Games esports and League of Legends specifically. So it was never really an option for us to exit the league. We had a very honest, open, and transparent conversation with Riot Games about this, and they spent...
No, Nate Shot said, "Get me the hell out," and Riot said, "I'll give you your money back."
This is what I'm saying. They're at the crossroads. They've done a lot of good in League of Legends.
Yes,
but there's no money from it. Now they're at it's the if I could translate this to people, it's Yu-Gi-Oh. You love the game, but there's no point of playing it anymore. And Yu-Gi-Oh be the opposite. It's too expensive. And actually no, it's the same thing. League of Legends is too expensive, but you're seeing no returns.
And he even just said it in the video right here. He said it. They still need the money because people have to factor in the money that they get now with Americas is less money than they got when things were franchised, right? It's literally giving them less money. But keep in mind, they can just use that money, build a budget roster, and diverse that money for a whole year into other things they want to do.
And the thing is, too, they can't take this money and put it to other stuff like they used to. And this is when I speak about later about one of the seasons, they did a lot of dumb stuff with money, and I'm going to break that down later.
Several months sort of talking through different solutions with us that could end up in the reality that we're in today. This allows us to full-heartedly focus on our business without really worrying about the imminent future, while still allowing us to compete in competitive League of Legends for years to come, hopefully. When we first joined the LCS back in 2017 as a franchise team, it also marked the beginning of 100 Thieves as the brand that we know today.
Congratulations.
Esports is at the center of everything that we do. League of Legends esports was really the birthing place of that alongside Call of Duty. And it's important for us that we continue that long story track record that we have in League of Legends. We've gone to Worlds 4 out of 7 seasons.
We've actually made it to championship weekend finals 4 times as well.
Exactly. We've won championships in the Amateur League, in the Academy League, and we've won the LCS itself.
Yeah. So, I mean, we have an insane track record in the LCS, and we're kind of looking to continue that. So, you know, in 2020,
it's just the rest won't matter. That's just kind of, I mean, we knew 100 Thieves wanted to sell for a while. I mean, as someone like Nate Shots, he's been pretty open about, you know, esports not making enough money. And at this point, I imagine they had a conversation with Riot that went, hey, please, Riot basically probably begged them to stay. They're like, hey, we'll buy back the slot. You could just stay here and collect some free money. If we do find something better, you can leave after a year if it's over. Because the year gives them the time to actually find a partner. That's the good thing about that.
Partner, yeah.
Though I don't know who wants to join. That's the problem is they could find a partner, but who's joining though?
What you do is you could probably take Disguised Toast, put them in one of the seeds. You take whoever. If Disguised Toast doesn't win, you can actually put them in the guest spot. And the
orgs, like he said, the orgs didn't do well with the money either. They did not. I mean, the money that they did have invested into them from the venture capital that came in back when esports was supposed to be the newest big thing, they squandered all that money.
Oh, trust me, there's 2 orgs that squander it damn near completely.
Yeah, and keep in mind, this was all on a house of cards. The venture capital was supposed to help them push them to a sustainable point where basically they invest this much money, and then if esports kept constantly growing and growing and growing, and you're supposed to make the billions and billions, then you could sell your slot. You sell your slot to another person, and then, well, obviously you make all your money back. None of that happened, guys. Riot squandered every opportunity in this league as far as content, branding, sponsorships, everything. Horrible fucking way they ran franchising. Disgusting. Where did the millions of dollars go? Where did all the money go?
Okay.
Millions of dollars year and year and year, and this company just squandered it, pissed it down the drain.
Probably bad marketing. And you gotta realize they're putting millions all over different regions.
Diversing that into the
different regions.
They wanted League of Legends worldwide. Remember, there was one they put all that money into leagues that they ended up scrapping.
Yeah, Australia, Turkey,
Japan,
Russia, Japan, Vietnam. It was like, and now it's all just clumping all together. And then some of these orgs, and I'll break down real quick. TSM, bad investments. We know about that whole, you know, was it FTX? That whole bullshit.
But even Reginald that talked about, like, he did everything he could to invest, but it's not just about investing the money here. There's just no real growth for League of Legends here. Like the LCS. Yeah, that's why they had to rebrand. I'm people saying they didn't rebrand because they were like, fuck, we gotta rebrand. They rebranded because that's their last option. This is a complete pivot for them right now. This is they're literally, it's on its last leg. If this does not work out, based off that new format we talked about this past Thursday, that's looking like a whole bunch of horse shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. New name change sucks. Fucking all the formats stink. What is I love League, and I don't want NA League of Legends to die in any way. But how could it not? Company just squanders everything. This company had 6 years to build a franchise and pissed it away. Just took a dump on everybody. And now they have to get embedded with Saudis because they realize they don't have no money. They blew it on the bullshit. What else did they blow it on? They were building a streaming platform. Failed. They were building that other mobile game. Failed. Legends of Runeterra. Pretty much failed.
That was more DOA. Expansion into all these other things, giving them money. Fail. Because think about it. You went from...
The only successful thing they had is Arcane. That's the only successful thing they had.
And that's coming to an end. It's like...
All you have left is that fighting game.
That's probably DOA.
I'll give them Valorant. Valorant, they did very well.
Valorant, honestly, that's another thing too. Valorant is starting to outshine League of Legends.
Yeah.
That's the thing too, and that's another thing. Valorant is
you're back now. You just DC'd for a little bit.
Think about it. Think about
crazy.
Think
what is
about
wrong with the internet? Burn your routers to the ground.
Think about it. Valorant's popularity is starting to outshine League of Legends.
Oh, it is. Yeah,
it's been bigger than League in the West for like.
We know this. Keep in mind when the LCS was running this year, they put the LCS in a closet.
Yep.
So I do want to point out the biggest problem right now is that all of the revenue for League right now comes from China, and China's honestly their interest is dying down rapidly from what I've heard. What's his name came out? Doingby came out and said if the LPL doesn't win this year, there's a high chance not only will you not see a lot of the players you love, but there's going to be a lot of people pulling back their investments in the Chinese organizations.
Yeah.
The luxury tax too. We know that. Well, this thing is. I mean, we don't have to go over this. I know a salary cap was needed for a long time, but it's coming in now. Arnold brought it up. There's a salary cap that's coming up for Korea this offseason. So let's say Faker already has a $6 million contract, that can't be tampered with. I'm talking about new contracts they have to renegotiate if you want to build a new team. Yeah. That's where the salary that's where the salary cap comes in. Same with the LPL. Luxury tax, but it's the same shit.
I think they'll pull it back immediately and arrange it around whatever Faker gets. Because if Faker,
no, he already has the pre-exposed deal. They can't.
Yeah, but I'm saying like in the future when his deal expires, they're gonna be like, you can have whatever you want. I promise. They will not pull it back.
I'm gonna tell you right now, the minute if Faker ever gets a new contract, they're just gonna make it where he doesn't even get money anywhere. He just gets
he just wants to stay on T1. He's never leaving.
He's gonna get a percentage of the company.
I just want to point out if we split up Faker's career from SKT and to when they rebranded as T1, if we split them up as like two different things. T1 Faker would be the second most successful player of all time. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy to think about.
He's the only player to win back-to-back world championships twice.
He's the only player he's the only player to win more than twice.
Remember when Samsung Galaxy won against him in 3-0?
Yeah.
Freak said the SKT dynasty is over. Yeah, now it's just the T1 dynasty.
Yeah.
Oh, to be fair, they were always called T1. It was just called South Korea's SKT.
No, everybody called him SKT.
Yeah, it's SKT. But they
now people call him T1.
Yeah.
I like SKT better.
I like SKT better too, but it's gone.
South Korea Telecom. That's what it is.
Well, you can't call them North Korea.
I want to point out just because this is off the top of my head. If you go to Korea, everything is owned by 5 companies. It's the SKT, what we were talking about, Samsung.
Telecoms, right?
Samsung.
Yeah, Samsung. What is it called? Neighbor.
KTs?
Neighbor. It's all the same companies. I think it's like there's 4 of them. I don't remember 5 of them.
Oh, you're just saying there's major 5.
No, just like you'll go to like a restaurant. It'll be like Samsung.
Everybody heard him in Korea.
I know. This is just an interesting thing. I think there's a lot of cool things in Korea. I do exaggerate how much I hated it because it was not for me. It's not for me. I didn't like it that much. I mean,
did this man not come back to us in the first episode? He came back and said, I hated it there.
I did hate it there. It's just, but it's because of me. It's because of who I am. It's not because of Korea.
Well, I would expect that. You got a certain, yeah.
I don't know what you're trying to say, but I just want to point out you'd have an even worse time there because you look like a black golem.
I'm not talking about them ching chong ugly monkeys who all look like Jackie Chan.
They all look attractive there because they all have plastic surgery. That's not.
They're all Jackie Chan.
Came back was a score into women. I mean, it was a weird time, dude.
Fat titties.
Y'all don't even know that. Y'all need to go with me next time. So,
but what do you mean? Egg rolls.
It's because I don't enjoy.
You think I got money? I mean, if you want to pay, hell yeah, I'm broke.
I'm not a city boy. Everything you do over there is compact. There's people around you at all times. Every building.
Nigga, that's where I live at now.
Yeah, I get that, but Seoul is like 3 times the population of like New York City, or 2 times. It's just that there's that many.
They got rats as big as motherfucking.
I'm not trying to
New York.
No, it's like
how clean it is over there. People always say it's really
very clean over there. It's like that one thing I will say. It's not like an American city. It is very clean over there. You can't
crime.
Bring drinks. You can't bring drinks on the bus. You can't talk on the bus. You can't do anything I like to do. I tried to make small talk with people. I got screamed at. You can't be in a public place and be loud. And it's not even loud. You can't really speak. Like it's just not for me. I think you take the bus everywhere because you can't. Drive.
You need the black people doing crack. You need the black people doing crack, don't you?
But literally, I saw somebody laying on the floor in the middle of an alleyway, and guess what? He was black. I was like, "What in the world? Did you come from our town?" So what is you guys are infesting that thing with your homelessness too?
I would say it's probably much more easier to live in a country with as much less crime as they have.
Well, no, they literally like ship out the homeless people. I think I saw no homeless people.
They probably dump them in North Korea.
I drove around the entire. That's the Asian culture. I mean, it's fine. It's just I don't like Asian.
Oh, no. I want to go back to the thing you said earlier. You said Doinby had said on stream that if the LPL doesn't win this year, they're pulling back their investment. As far as like, this is past the salary cap. As far as what teams
said that a lot of investors are saying that the interest in the LPL scene is dying down drastically, and they can see it. So yeah, that's what they said. And the big moneymaker for the league right now is the Chinese scene.
It's not Korea. Even Arnold said, as much as Korea wins. There was a year that Arnold said that too. They had it was Arnold maybe or someone else that's close to the production of the LCK. They had said that if the LCK didn't win in 2022 when DRX won, then it would have been basically catastrophic, they said, for the LCK. Keep in mind, guys, the LCK is the most winningest region ever. Not getting usurped anytime soon. If they can't make a profit off League, I love doing this show. I do, but I hope the league's able to be driven all these other years to come because I find too many conversations about people not making enough money to be dying.
I love League, but all the signs are pointing to the inevitable. Does
the LCK does they call it the Wong Ching Chongs?
Like we look at it. We look at the what's it called? The only thing that's really generating revenue anymore is Worlds. Worlds is the only thing that's generating revenue.
What did they do with Worlds? All they promoted was Arcane. Everything was Arcane.
Well, I mean, that's not really surprising. That's not why they made money. But
yeah,
the only thing that really makes a profit anymore is Worlds because there's so much. The amount of viewership is like tripled for all the regions besides maybe China. All of them get a massive viewer boost.
And if China can't generate a profit for this, they
were generating profit at one point.
Yeah, what do they do at this point? Do you just have less
when you have 1 billion people, they're gonna tend to do everything. League, I'm not even exaggerating. League, they get a lot of people playing League. They got a lot of people watching League.
They have 1 billion people, so the average viewer base is gonna be higher than
it's just people. What needs to happen. I mean, if League wants to succeed, is simplification. There needs to be a simplification of the way you explain things, and that's the only way it's going to happen because the average person can't come into the league and watch what's happening.
Yeah.
They don't know what's going on. They don't know what this guy's going to do. They don't know. I couldn't bring like one of my parents and be like, hey, let's watch this. He wouldn't know what's going on.
Yeah. And even from just a casual point of view, it's that problem. I mean, just from the economical point of view that I can point out is there's no constant revenue stream. The reason
there's no constant revenue stream is because you can't, again, the casual viewer can't watch it. You can't just jump into League and watch
Riot squandered the media rights because the reason why the NBA and the NFL can make all this money is because they're selling media rights. They're like, hey, we have enough people watching. You want to buy this package at the highest dollar. Riot doesn't have that because they squandered it.
Well, they never had. They wouldn't have had the viewer base either way.
Because the reason why they didn't have it, it's not because, they messed the deal up. Overwatch tried doing that. Overwatch tried getting that exclusive partnership with Twitch. It was like $100 million, $300 million for 3 years, and it didn't pan out. And Twitch didn't renew the contract. So that's the most traditional way outside of growing a grassroots fan base to get money, right? The league doesn't have that. You don't have a constant revenue stream coming in, which is either your fans or your media rights. Nothing. So
I just don't think there is enough interest in league.
How do you generate a constant revenue stream though? Every fan they turn to is a broke, pimple-faced, blue-haired weirdo.
There just isn't a person. This league will die soon. It's just gonna happen.
Oh hell! All right, Chaz, you run.
I'm sorry. I hate it. I love league. I've played league for honestly half my life at this point. It's crazy.
I don't want it to die at all.
He's not wrong, but the issue is this: league is gonna die in the West first before it dies.
I agree.
And that's the thing about it. Like, and the issue about it, thing about it, in America, there's so many other things to do. That's why the league players over here would never be as good as the one over in the East, because there's not much to do. Like, I mean, James could attest to this. There's not much to do in Korea from what I've seen.
Genji's CEO had said there's not even enough of a pipeline like there used to be in league to make a lot of like academy teams.
I mean,
too.
It's just it comes down to that. Yeah, League of Legends.
What do you do?
Because the game of the.
What do you do at this point now? Riot squandered the media rights deal, so you don't have that. The fans are too broke, or the fans aren't given enough reason to spend money on the orgs like they do in traditional sports. You don't have either thing. Okay, so you don't have either thing that makes the other traditional sport work. And the game viewership is dying, at least from.
What can they do? All they can do is try
the death spiral.
Well, I mean, it was inevitable. There's nothing. I don't think there's anything they.
Do you have any ideas that they can fix this?
Well, no. I mean, just the league inherently just is hard for everybody to get into. The way they could simplify it is making a concrete way for. If they wanted to, this is what they could do, but it would kill league. This is what they would do. They would simplify the building resume, the way people build, to where everybody would know what everybody's going to build, and it's just a way of how do you get that money.
You know, from a casual point of view. I'm talking from a business point of view.
This is how you get business, is by you appeal to casual.
Business?
I'm just telling you, you can't win at the end of the day if you don't have casuals watching.
I don't disagree with that. What I'm saying is, like, you're saying that is going to be
I'm saying
push.
Yes, it's the only push. Everything else, no matter what you do, if you don't get the casual fan base, the game is dead.
No, yeah, I agree. But how do you get them more? Because they're not watching now.
Well, it's because the game is like just trying to show somebody who doesn't know what league and have them watch.
Oh, another reason why people stop playing league. We all know this. Balance, Riot's balance team is terrible.
I actually disagree. I know people like to complain about this. I think Riot's balance team is one of the best I've ever seen. I play a lot of games.
Yeah.
I play a lot of games.
Well, keep in mind, but that's the main reason people do league is because they say the balance of the game is not what they like.
Whine about. But the game has changed. That's why they want, because the game has changed drastically from season 5 to season 4.
Yeah, but you don't think that would be the cause for people leaving?
I mean, people leave, but I'm not saying that's a majority. I don't.
Yeah, I'm just trying to say, like, how can they fix it from a business point of view? Because it makes no sense from a business point of view to run a league.
I'm just telling you, they have to change the game fundamentally. That's
I'm not disagreeing. It's the cat. So from a casual point of view, league's hard to watch, and from a business point of view, you can't run a team at a profit. Keep in mind, but
the business all stems from whether or not you can get casuals to watch.
Yeah, I'm like, I know.
Nothing else matters.
And like the reason why I'm bringing up the Genji CEO, like he always talks about this on Twitter. He also brought up, remember earlier last year, Genji, even with T1 and KT in the league, lead the league in sponsorships, and he said they still can't turn a profit. That's bad. It's really bad. That they can lead the league in sponsorship, just get free money essentially.
Well, I think this is going to come down to the fact that how do all these teams make money? Why are baseball and stupid football teams valued at more than soccer teams?
I just want to point media rights deals. No. Of the fan bases.
Listen. Soccer is
fan bases are passionate about supporting their teams.
I just want to point out, soccer is not only the most popular sport in the world, but the most passionate fans you'll ever meet. And guess what?
Yeah.
And guess what? They are not even close to the amount of money baseball and soccer, but some of them. But 90% of them are just not even close to. And the most popular team in the world, the most profitable, are all American teams. You want to know why that is? Because they have. And again, if it wasn't for how much teams, because soccer doesn't have a good way they build stuff. The only reason they have it is because they have the most fans of all time, so they get a bunch of merchandise.
Yeah, but those fans support their team, though, right?
No, it's not about that. That doesn't matter. That's what I'm saying. The support of fans doesn't matter.
But then you have the back end of it. If enough of those people watch the games, all that revenue
I'm just telling you, to be able to make money, you have to have so many fans like that.
You even said you need the casuals. The casuals.
You need the casuals. You don't want the fans. They don't matter.
Yeah. Because the casuals watch the games, and obviously, if you're in soccer, I know they're selling media rights deals for their teams. They have enough of the viewers.
No, they don't. That's the big thing. There's so much less media rights in soccer because the way American
that fan base must be huge. Then
it's because they are huge. Soccer's dwarfs the other sports.
Yeah.
But baseball and football and basketball all make more money in terms of just franchising and revenue because of the fact of how sports work in America. Sports play ads the entire time. This is how they do it. This is how your team has to be able to do it. There needs to be a concise way because the watching is good. The watching is good, and it's good for the
watching is good for TV. That's where the viewership is. Yeah.
But the big thing, it's not even just that. If you get people to watch and you get the fans, you get revenue for the team specifically to be able to generate. Mm-hmm. But what would make money happen, and I like what you said about the TV revenue and stuff like that, but this was going to happen.
Yeah.
I think
because if you're selling that big of a package, all those soccer fans, that does contribute.
Yeah, but we're talking about.
And you said casuals. There's not enough of that for league. There just isn't, like you said. So if you don't have that, then what do you have?
You have to follow baseball. Doesn't follow baseball's rules. You have to
what
follow
do they do?
rules. What they do is they play, because just imagine this: football plays for like 5 minutes, take a break, play an ad.
Yeah,
they play a break, take an ad. People might hate this, but the reason that all the sports in America, which I love the sports in America, but the only reason they work is because they play so many ads. The only reason they make money is because they play so many ads. There's enough of a viewer base on Twitch and on YouTube. If they play
another point to that.
What?
The reason why the sponsorships do not come here, as they remember, we had big sponsors.
Yeah, I heard about this.
Because there's the sponsors that were giving money noticed there wasn't enough interest there, and they just pulled it out.
So you're misunderstanding. The sponsors are never going to go to the teams because the teams don't generate money. What the sponsors and all these people need to do is they need to know. And again, the media rights thing that you're talking about on the TV would have helped. It would have helped a little bit.
Because that's a constant revenue stream.
It is a constant revenue stream, but that wouldn't have stopped the viewer base.
No, and the only other thing I was bringing up, we're talking just a second ago. What we're saying.
So I'm talking about the reason that league is dying and all these things are happening is because the casual fan base isn't there. So if you can't appeal to the casual fan base, which they could have tried, so what they could have done is they could have simplified the build paths. They could have not introduced 170 characters. Yeah. All these things could have happened. But the fact that they did do this makes it to where now you can never appeal to the casual fan base because there's too many characters in the game. There's enough of a patch. There's a patch like every week. How does everybody keep up with all this stuff? You can't really know.
Yeah.
So when that happens, what is the situation you should be doing? How do you go back to all this? The way you go back to if you give up on the casual fan base, you need to get some sort of media rights, which you are talking about. Because I didn't think that was good for
League. They the entire thing.
I didn't think at the time it was good for League because of the fact that I thought the scene would grow still. Because the scene was massive in season 10.
The problem here is that if they don't get that, they don't have a contingency plan. There's no backup plan. Because we know the league fans don't support. It's just we know that.
Well, I'm just saying the contingency shouldn't be the end of the goal. What's it called? Because
you have a fallback plan. But
the media rights would have been dead by now. They would have been gone.
What
I'm saying is they would have done the 3 years. They would have given up. I think it was 3 years.
It was 3 years. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And then they would have stopped. They would have been like, there's no money in this.
Because the thing is about sponsorship, the reason why a lot of the bigger sponsors pulled out is because they noticed there was no interest there. So they're spending all this money to get ads and content out of teams that are getting to nobody. So they're going to pull up regardless. So all sponsors care about is eyes.
The big thing that would make you sponsor not only for eyes, but you sponsor for valuation. If I slap my name on $1 billion thing, even if no one looks at it,
if you have 1 million, you're not going to get this because you have a decent, somewhat odd personality. Let's say you had 1 million followers on TikTok. I would sponsor you because I would give you $1 million sponsorship because I know you're going to get that ad of mine on 1 million of your followers, hypothetically, because we know numbers can work. The conversion rates are weird that way. Yeah. The sponsors knew that a lot of these teams, even when they followed up on, to be fair, there's two things. No eyes on their content, and the teams barely got their deliverables done. I love Cloud9 people, but Cloud9 barely did content for BMW. There's a lot of sponsors they had. Do the 100 of these, do they do content for Subway anymore?
Well, I think what would really make it work?
So you're giving these guys free money, and they don't even do the sponsorship deliverables.
No. They did when they had the contract. The minute their contract ended, they
I'm talking about it's the bare minimum. Like the teams got the sponsorship, and even they
Oh no, 100 Thieves was the best at doing their Lexus.
Yeah. I'm just talking
It's
about
because they have a content creation side. That's the whole reason.
See, Cloud9 didn't have that. That's what the issue with Cloud9.
Yeah, I know. No, I know
it.
you guys notice it. A lot of teams had big sponsors, and this is what I've already heard. So,
Yeah.
a reason why they left. So sponsors care about eyes. There's no eyes, so if you don't have that, and if you're not doing your deliverables, why the fuck are you even here? The teams have squandered all their sponsorship opportunities.
Yeah.
How are they? They're getting free money, and they're not even doing. Dignitas had sponsors. They shouldn't do anything for them. Well, the joke is Dignitas is still a league team. That's the joke there.
Yeah.
It's just so not only when you said the org screwed up, that's where the org screwed up. They know there's barely money here, and they're screwing up the easy guaranteed money that they're getting for free. Also, the orgs overpaid for players, giving them $1 million contracts. For what? The players don't produce millions of dollars worth of value. I'm sorry, they don't. These guys should be paid what the minimum is, maybe a little bit more, maybe 100K. 100K is fine. Fine.
So just I want to point out the way Riot Games is trying to stifle this is they're going to be paying for the minimum wage or the minimum salary of 5 players on each team. You can literally pay the minimum salary to 5 people and not have to pay a single dime to play.
They want to have teams basically run revenue neutral, essentially.
Yeah.
Riot Games knows that if the esports scene dies, it's on them. They are not going to have any money left.
They would have no one to blame but themselves.
Yeah, so that's
the
I just don't think this game could have done it. I just think that's the way the league is. As much as I want to hype it up and say there could have been doing something.
I think when Overwatch failed at their home and away game thing, that was kind of like a beginning of the end. Because it just shows esports, even on leagues. Leagues is the biggest one. It'll never have that appeal.
Yeah, but Overwatch really deflated the scene because they essentially showed the lack of actual money
structure. The reason why like the NBA and NFL can get all these sponsorship deals and everything is because there's actual massive structure there for years and years and years. Esports teams don't have that, and to be fair, it's not just that it doesn't have it. A lot of the people here are idiots. I mean, Reginald took a $200 million FTX scam deal. That's what one of our biggest league owners did. These people here are stupid. And people that run these teams are stupid.
How can they know? Going into cryptocurrency is what actually, and again, I think that was one of the big things a lot of teams did. And when the interest in cryptocurrency deflated, the valuation of the league plummeted.
And that's the whole thing during COVID. If this thing started to get bad, and a lot of these orgs, TSM, 100 Cs, CLG, less CLG, but 100 Cs and TSM, they're chase trend hoppers.
Madison Square Garden invested in CLG, and what we heard was that CLG begged NRG to buy the slot. NRG didn't buy the slot. They took shares out of their company and they just gave it to them. They were like, "We're bleeding so much money. Please take this." And CLG got nothing out of being anything in this.
Honestly, WZ, if I could fight the owner of Crypto.com, I would do it in a heartbeat. What they did to Staples Center is one of the tragedies of all time.
Easily.
And we don't glorify violence here on this podcast.
I don't care. Look what they did.
You think about it. Crypto becomes big because you got a lot of fans. You got to think about like one of TSM's biggest fans was a guy who turned out to be a scammer, and
Does that not bode well for the crypto scene? The biggest guy was a scam artist. Oh,
and the thing is too, it destroyed a lot of things because also it almost destroyed the Miami Heat. Because think about it, they switched their name from American Airlines Arena to FTX Arena. And then they had to drop it immediately once they found out it was a scam. That kind of hurt. That kind of hurt the LCS because LCS was trying to find more ways to get money. Teams are getting individual, deals. The only one I think that utilized it to the best was 100 Cs because they had the best content creator. But from me looking at it, FTX just had bad investments.
And keep in mind, a lot of other guys left too. The Bucks used to own FlyQuest. Yeah, they sold them to the Panthers.
That's another thing too. That's another thing too. A lot of these teams that used to have these,
all of them invested. Everyone thought that this was going to be the next big thing to the point where even if you invested in, with venture capital, you could just sell your slot for 10 times the value you bought in. None of that happened.
100C, let's go to Guardians. Go to Guardians, and then Go to Guardians had to dissolve right after. Was it Go to Guardians?
Golden Guardians dissolved. EG spent allegedly $30 million on their slot to get it from Echo Fox. That failed.
EG is the prime example of three things: poor money management, poor hiring practices, and the worst HR I've ever seen. Like, and all that could be equivalent to the same thing. Yeah.
Okay, I saw your internet died out again. No, it's just fine.
EG had the worst HR I've ever seen. They don't know how to hire people. They don't know how to develop their players in a way where it needs to be developed. And then I see the way they run money. I'm surprised the company lasted as long as they did.
Because, dude, you saw. I mean, everyone saw. There wasn't like hype here.
I was in business. You gotta realize I didn't even know about League of Legends. No, I knew about League of Legends, but I wasn't watching.
You were like watching from the sidelines, essentially.
Because you gotta realize I was still in business school at this time, and I was looking at EG around 2020, 2021. I'm like, and I think me and you started watching League of Legends around 2022, and then once you told me to go back and look at Nicole Jameson and all that and all the EG, EG, and I'm like, how's this company even functional?
There's a long history with them. It's just we had so many big people come in. There was a lot of big Bud Light, despite their controversy with that.
Bud Light. You got
LCS was sponsored by Bud Light.
Lexus, Logitech. There was a lot of these companies. Subway.
LCS had a State Farm sponsorship.
I've all the same companies. Subway, really?
Verizon's huge. Okay.
Verizon. Yep. AT&T.
Yeah. There wasn't. It's not like there wasn't investment in the league. This just, in my opinion, I said this last episode. A lot of these owners, Riot just sold them a false bill of goods. They were never competent enough to build this up.
It's not. Bad. I mean, so. When they bought in, the valuation of the slots was hundreds, millions,
10 million,
millions upon millions.
Yeah,
that's what the valuations. I'm just saying. I think at one point they were valued at $100 million for.
So it was 10 million if you were old team and 12 if you're new. So
no, we're not talking about how much they bought. You're misunderstanding. I'm talking about the valuation of the slots themselves were valued.
Close to at some point, these were estimated valuations.
The estimated valuations are all estimations, dude. That's just
But I'm saying that's another false bill of goods. There's no way you could convince me Cloud9's worth $500 million.
We're not talking about anything besides League was overvalued at one point because the influx.
I'm not saying this.
No, I'm just saying the influx of cryptocurrency, and that's what did it. Oversaturated a lot of teams. It happened in the NBA. Really decimated the league scene. It's just what happened in esports. A lot of the esports scenes were specifically invested in by cryptocurrency, which took a nosedive.
Blockchain, Team Liquid doesn't. What happened to their Coinbase sponsorship? Team Liquid, what happened to that? Oh, yeah.
That company damn near folded. They came in. Not folded. They
didn't certain gas stations have crypto ATM machines too?
Isn't it crazy to think about? FTX single-handedly crashed cryptocurrency investments.
I want to say they crashed.
Valuations.
Crypto's still the same, but
it is, and it's still not.
It's mostly carried by Bitcoin right now.
Yeah, Bitcoin. No, but they didn't crash it, but they didn't. They put it in a. No, how much I say?
They put it in a deadlock. It's just what happens.
Yeah, deadlock.
Stock prices.
People don't trust crypto anymore.
Yeah, it basically scared away anyone that kind of maybe wanted to invest. Be like, oh my god, the biggest thing is a scam. I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
What's the appeal of League of Legends to the regular person? Do teams have personalities? Are the games easy to understand? Well, to be fair, I'll say this. Chaz actually understood the game. It only took him about a couple years to do it. And to be fair, a couple years was a long time.
So I want to point out.
It took me about 7 months to understand how the game is from watching it. From playing it, it took me a little long. Crazy thing about it, I actually understood it coming into the game. There was just certain things about it.
Doing it in the game is the problem.
Yeah, it's like I understood what they were doing. I was like, all right, cool. Yeah,
I'm gonna buy some more cryptos this week. Oh my god,
Cryptocurrency investing on small time cryptos. Did I just crash again?
No, you're good.
Right now.
Because he froze and I thought I was gone. Yeah, but
no, it's just WZ trolling us saying he's the next Sam Friedman.
No, I'm not even disagreeing. WZ he's reasonable. Like, what is the appeal to the regular person? If there is a regular person that is watching the league,
I honestly couldn't tell you.
They could. He did freeze for a second. I thought I froze. But there's genuinely nothing that you couldn't get a regular person interested in this. There's nothing you can do because there's so much for them to have to try and memorize. That's why I think League was doomed from the start. And I think that the things they did weren't bad, but the overvaluation of cryptocurrency brought them up to a high that when it crashed down, scared away all the investors.
I think the best way you can put it in front of people, because keep in mind, the reason why League got as big as it did is because of grassroots investment, grassroots people building it up.
Yeah.
That's not a thing anymore. Like League in terms of like a grassroots movement, it's not there anymore because people don't play it as high schools anymore. I mean, we've heard rumors on Reddit that not a lot of people are playing it even in Korea. That's not good because Korea's the best fucking region. That's not good. There's no pipe. Like after these generation of players go, all the ones we're watching right now.
Oh yeah.
Where's the next crop coming? Because there's usually supposed to be another crop of people coming up.
It's like the same thing with Yu-Gi-Oh. It's the same thing with Yu-Gi-Oh. There's no more Dragon Duels as much. It's like
you need that new pipeline of people because it keeps the game healthy and it keeps it fresh for new people to come into the scene. League's not having that as much anymore. The team you have this kind of you kind of just find your own way. That's kind of how you watch a team. It's just not. That's just for you.
That's the reality. It's not for you. It's unappealable to the average person unless you.
I would just say, tune in the stream and try to see if you can understand what's going on. It's not that hard. I would say
it's very hard. I just think there's 170 champions and 5 billion items. It's so hard for anybody.
Because the reason why I want you and Michael and Walter to watch is because you'd also know what we're talking about if you're watching the show.
They don't care about they're just coming in here to hear Chaz get hit on by me. That's all they want.
Do these organizations invest? They have no money. There's no investing in anything. There's no fucking money. Do these organizations invest in showing us the backstories of Cloud9's players?
They actually do. If you go on their YouTube channels, there's a lot into them. But the problem is that you're comparing league players' sociability and likability to actual sports players who are genuine jocks.
Now you're getting it. That's why Faker has that. Faker came around at a point in League where the content creation itself was so much more better than it is now. He benefited from all of that. There's not the same level of content creation that when his crop of people were in it versus now. The content creation is much more less quality than it used to be. I mean, man, I could give you so many great videos back in the day. They have it if you look for it. It just depends on, well, what are you looking for? I don't know. Every fan has a different reason they're looking for something. You know, if someone's just trying to be a casual, I could point you in the right direction. But it just depends on, are you just trying to be a spectator? Or trying to be a player? Or are you trying to watch teams? It really just depends.
You're only trying to be a spectator. No one's trying to be a player.
If you're trying to be a spectator, tune in. I could find you stuff, but that just depends.
Well, I think he's just genuinely asking a question of how does the average person. I don't think he's
watch
trying
Worlds.
to talk to himself.
I think really watching Worlds is what a lot of casuals do. A lot of casuals do watch Worlds. I would say watch Worlds. Currently, right now, watch it from start to finish. Because Faker's story is what carries Worlds. That's the problem is since Riot's put all their eggs in Faker's basket, when he ever retires, who's the next guy to carry the viewership for League?
I don't think there is anybody.
I don't think there is the next somebody else.
That's the problem is they've invested so much in a Faker in terms of like everything.
And that's the same thing that's going on with the NBA right now. The middle of LeBron James, who's going to be the next guy to?
I guess Stephen Curry, right?
No, Stephen Curry's going to retire at the same time LeBron does.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
You got Luka, you got Anthony Edwards. Think about it. And I'm breaking
James Harden.
Quick. He's going to retire at the same time. He's not that much younger than LeBron. Yes, you got to think about it. Go all the way back to the beginning of League. Go back all the way back to the beginning of basketball. No one gave a fuck about basketball until about 1960 when you got two tall-ass Negroes, Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain. There's
How dare you talk about George Mikan like that? That's my boy.
There was no television for that, man. I'm not. No.
You were in your mom's. You were in your mom's stomach when you saw that guy.
Your
play.
mom wasn't even born yet.
Yeah, that was like
1946.
Yeah.
1940.
I'm not saying
OG
George.
Laker.
I'm not. Do not get it wrong when I say I'm not disrespecting players that saying they're bad. I'm saying there was no televised. No one gave a fuck about.
Yeah, these players don't have that level of personality and drive to bring the viewers.
That's the same thing with League. League, like Faker came in, he looked like this nerdy looking Korean dude, and then comes out. You see the way, like, think about it. You see the way Korea plays, and they come in, they just win. They come in 2013, smash everything, and then they win worlds. It's like, okay. Because they didn't look dominant until they got to the finals. They were like
S13 2013?
Yeah, I'm talking about like
no, it ran people through in that tournament. I don't think they were challenged ever at all. They were only challenged in the semifinals. Yeah.
I'm talking about like okay, it wasn't like 2-0s. I'm talking about it was like 2-1s, 3-1s. It wasn't like
I honestly don't remember. I haven't watched that Worlds in forever, but sure, carry on.
Yeah, and it's like. And then boom, they get to 2014 they don't win. 2015 they come back. Boom, now we got this guy who won 2 championships. I say, wait a second, what the hell's going on? And then it starts building up that narrative.
Oh yeah, and then for another thing, add to your point, every time they've tried to prop up another person to take over for him, they lose right when it matters.
They lose or they win and then they disappear right after. It's like, think about it. Faker goes 7 years without winning. Who was the next player? Who after 2017 they could have pumped up Roller?
Yeah, that's when you have the Showmaker, Chovy era, Damwon and Griffin.
Showmaker, Chovy. You gotta think about it. Corey JJ decided. I think Corey JJ was better off probably staying in Korea. I think for longevity, he probably would have.
That paycheck from Team Liquid was just too much.
I know, and I think sometimes money ruins a legacy. Like. Think about it. What if Michael Jordan never went to Washington? And the last time we saw Michael Jordan play was he hit that game-winning shot against Utah in '98. Sometimes legacy means everything. Like, Faker not taking a check is going to be better long-term for his legacy.
Yeah, because
who gives a fuck about money when he can make money off,
Because that's the problem is people have said, well, the players can retire and just stream League. Yeah, to who? Who you streaming League to? What viewers?
Your fans.
That's not even a viable option anymore.
Yeah, because it's
Yanko said that when he was streaming, he used to hit like 10K, 16K. He hits like 4,000 viewers now. You probably can live off that.
I'm about to say force. Even 400 people and 400 people gets you about, I think, 2K a month.
You can live off like if you're in Europe is cheaper, you can live off that. But
yeah.
You mind a player like Yankos is one almost. I mean, you can't get better of a Western career than that.
Yeah,
he can't even comfortably, sustainably retire from League.
4K, and if you're a partner, you make about what 20-30 grand a month.
He has a bunch of subs, and he can do YouTube content.
That's what I'm saying.
But if you're someone like Meech, and you're like, hey guys, I'm retired, I'm gonna go stream League. Who's watching Meech play League?
30 people.
Damn.
People who actually fuck with me. Like, that's the thing about when you go get people that fucks with you. Like, Jesse gets about 400 people at the most.
Yeah, people watch Dokla stream too. That's crazy.
I don't know why they watch Dokla. Dokla don't be saying
anything. But I have
no. He don't even be saying anything. He'll just be playing. It'll be nothing.
Do you guys have anything you want to say to the audience before we head out?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know you
go for it. You go for it. What are you doing?
You guys go. I'm going to the bathroom really quick.
I'm pretty much going to say the way League's going to die is there's 3 ways League could die. There's no more fans. I think there's always going to be fans. I don't think that's going to how it die. They're not going to be able to prop up a second person behind Faker once he leaves. If the person, and the crazy part about it is the person that's going to be the next person after Faker is going to be someone on SKT1. It's going to be one of those guys. It's not going to be a rival. Chovy has constantly come up short when needed. Ben, same. Ruler has beat him once, but it hasn't gotten back there since. You're looking at like Showmaker might be a candidate in Korea, but not outside of Korea. Most of these guys are not going to be able to be marketable outside of the area of where they're from. Faker was the only one because they got him in commercial. And I think James said it earlier. There's four companies that rule Korea. Samsung. Think about it. Like Faker was in a Samsung commercial. Samsung's one of the rivals.
Ice cream commercial.
He's in SKT1 commercial where because
he's
SKT,
literally their franchise player. It's one of those things where everyone they've tried to prop up after Faker has never won at, even if they've won, because Showmaker and Chovy have won something, but they've never won as consistently as him. People, it's not about winning one time. People sometimes barely remember the one-time guys. They do remember the guys that constantly win, though. That's what they remember. Faker's constantly winning. It's crazy. So
I just think that the reality is I don't think League had that longevity because put basketball in hoop, everybody can enjoy that, especially with dunks. People like dunks, that's why the dunk contest is popular, but there's just nothing in League.
I love
the outplays are hard to understand. Outplays in League are hard to understand, dude. It's just you don't understand what's going on.
I just love it when LeBron opens my butthole and tickles my fanny.
I'm glad to hear that, man.
Okay.
Chaz loves it when Lennon lets him blow his load in her and I get to lick that nut. # free the nut.
What is wrong with you?
You weird guy.
Everything.
Yeah, I know.
Damn. Have you guys had sex recently?
With
no.
Okay.
Nah.
Jeez, why are you so cringe?
Don't even look at yourself, dude.
I've just been focusing on Pokemon. I'm not gonna lie. I just been playing Pokemon for the last month.
You're good.
I'm not even worried about sex.
So, what's today's episode? We're on Sunday, right?
Yeah,
okay,
Sunday. It's Monday where I'm at.
Okay, so on Thursday we'll do our Worlds recap episode. So you're gonna be there for that? We did last year.
Was I there last year?
Yeah, you were here last year when we just recapped the whole world. Talking about NA, EU, Korea. Thursday at like 8:30. Yeah,
sure, I'll be there. I should be there.
Yeah, because after election stuff, we had a crazy week. Oh my god!
It's hard for you.
Yeah.
I'll go to the voting thing. What time do they open on Tuesday?
It depends on where you're at.
I don't know what time ours do.
It usually starts at 6 a.m. It depends
I'll try and get there as soon as I can. I really don't want to spend my entire day off just out voting. That's just not good.
Well, it's not even just that. You need to make sure we have same day registration, so just make sure you go there and it should be good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Make sure you go to the do you guys have actual places you are specifically able to go to, or is it anywhere?
We have places.
Okay, yeah, same thing as me. Okay.
All right. Hope Donald Trump wins. So thank you guys for checking out this episode of the Cloud9 podcast. Just want to say, if you guys would know, I am working on getting out more consistent content. I'm diligently working on that. Going to be working on towards getting my time more structured so I can get that content out more for you guys. Cloud9 podcast is currently getting uploaded to Rumble. I'm currently on season 10 right now. I'm almost done with season 10. And then I'm going to finish up probably doing season 11. And then after that, I'll have freed up a lot of space on my computer. And then I'm going to work after that. I'm going to work on getting the episodes up on the podcast platform. I'm going to probably finish up uploading the episodes on season 11 and then work on season 12 and 13 at some point. Thank you guys for your continued support. We're going to come back here on Thursday at 8:30 PST, recapping the entire 2024 League of Legends World Championships, frauds, most overrated players, all that stuff. And my World's MVP for the whole tournament for me personally is just T1's 80 carry Gumayusi. I think he was the best player for them consistently throughout the entire tournament. So, yeah, guy really stepped up there. So, yep, that's it. We'll see you guys later, and we'll see you guys on